Last time around, we started my first ever Pentagon challenge. And after beginning with no coaching experience or badges, we got our first job at Guangzhou in China. And so we quickly established our first target to win the Asian Champions League. And well, eventually we did, with the slight help of a tycoon takeover. Oh my words. It's actually happened. It's actually happened. After tasting success and lifting the trophy, I immediately resigned. And that meant a new job hunt was underway. And well, I found a new job. Come on. Welcome to Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, often just called Sundowns. They are one of the best teams in South Africa. Now, yes, that's right. We are now going to be aiming for the African Champions League. It's known as the ACL, and you can see that last year it was won by TP Mazembe. And if I scroll down here, it hasn't been won by Mamelodi Sundowns since 2016, which is their one and only continental title. The Sundowns are one of the best teams in South Africa. However, they've not won the league for 3 seasons, and they finished 4th last year, which is why they'd sacked their manager. It was actually the one and only job that I applied for this summer, and we weren't actually out of job for all that long. We left Guangzhou on the 13th of May, and then we signed with the Mamelodi Sundowns on the 24th of June. So it took just over a month and a couple of weeks to get ourselves a new job. And since then, you can see I've already done a couple of transfers because, of course, this is me and that's what we do. We are in a good position. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm hoping that this leg of the Pentagon isn't going to take that long. However, in this first season with the club, we're not going to be in that Champions League because they finished 4th last year. I'm hoping that our league finish this year gets us back into it for next season. We really should do, because we are second favourites. Kaiser Chiefs are favourites. We've also got Orlando Pirates as the other main threats. So it's certainly not a done deal, but I would back myself to hopefully go and win this league. As I mentioned, I have been doing some transfer business, and I've done a little bit already. We were given a decent budget of about £3 million, and I've spent £1.1 million so far. If I go to the in progress transfer business here, I've got a few players that I'm also trying to bring in. I'm quite excited about. I feel like we found some good players straight away, straight off the bat here. So hopefully they do the business for us. First of all, let me show you the done deal business that we have. We have signed Oswin Apollis from one of our main rivals, Orlando Pirates, to come and play on the left wing for us. He's signed for 250k. He is a South African international. We've also signed, and this one, I needed to show you this one. I'm so very, very excited. From Enyimba Abba, which is a Nigerian team, I have signed a man called Chukwemeka Matthew. He's cost us quite a lot, 825k. If you compare that to the spending that we were doing in China, it's not quite that much. Oh, and by the way, I did have a look at trying to sign some of those players from Guangzhou. They're not interested in moving to South Africa. If you speak to them, they actually say that the reason is they are concerned about moving to Sundowns and has expressed doubts over the level of infrastructure and standard of living in the country, which is a bit strange, but there we go. So we won't be able to bring through any of the players that we had from China to bring them across, which is definitely something I want to do. I'm definitely looking for those save heroes that we can try and take on a journey with us. Maybe this man can be it, which is why I'm talking about this. Chukwemeka Matthew is a 6'5", 20-year-old Nigerian international. Why do I love him? I ask you to tell me in the comments down below. You already know. He's got 20 jumping reach. 6'5", 20 jumping reach. And he's really good. Like, he's definitely good as well. If I compare him to our other defender who was already here, Ime Okon, this is the main man. He's a South African international, and he was the best starting centre-back at Sundowns before I signed Matthew. If I compare the two of them, you will see just how good Chukwemeka Matthew actually is. He's the blue attribute on here. If you actually just do a comparison here, we've got ourselves a really, really good player here who hopefully also gets a bit better because he's only 20. Which is just beautiful to think of. So I'm very happy, very chuffed with my business, as also you might be able to tell. I'm also hopefully in the process of signing some other players, but I'll let you know if we do end up signing them, I suppose. Nadir Bellaribi, I'm hoping chooses us. Now, I've not even had the chance to actually scout him yet, but the reason that I've gone all in for him is that when I found him, City, United, PSG, Benfica also want him, which tells me this guy's probably quite good. He's playing for ES Setif in Algeria. So I imagine they'll be in the same Champions League competition as us right now. But because of that interest in him, and he's an Algerian international at 20, I think he might be really good. We've had a bid accepted, and he did like the contract that I offered to him. So I just really hope that he chooses us. Other than that, we are waiting on work permits for 2 players. Giovanni, can you see why I like this guy as well? He is going to be our main man in attack. He's 6'6", and I'm just hoping he gets a bit quicker, faster, maybe. But he's got okay finishing, good dribbling. I mean, he's massive as well. Good flair, good teamwork. He should be quite good. He's a 19-year-old Brazilian. You might be wondering about the foreign registration rules in the country as well. They're actually not too bad here in South Africa. I think I'm going to be able to cope with these a bit better than in China, which was tricky. You can register up to 5 foreign players, and that's the only restriction on it. Also, if they're under 21, they don't need to be registered at all. Like, actually, technically, if I auto-select here, I don't really need to register most of my team. But look, Chukwuemeka Matthew comes in. I don't actually have to register him because he's an under 21 player. So we're going to get at least a year without him having to be registered. So it's going to be a lot easier, especially if we target those younger players. I'm quite excited about this. Let me show you the team before we go and properly get into this season. I've fully immersed myself already into this part of the save. I've done such a deep dive going through each player, comparing them with one another, having a look through the youth teams, because there's quite a lot of youth talent in there, which you might be able to see in some of the players that I've called up to the first team. You could say that I've done a squad audit or a squadit, potentially. It's still not a thing, but I have definitely been doing that. I've chosen my keeper, Andrew Makoba, and he's not the best or most established, experienced goalkeeper at the club, but he is the tallest. And I also think he should get a bit better, and they were quite similar. It was him or Makoba, who's 19, or Nkube, who is 5'9". And I thought about it. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to have a 5'9" goalkeeper, even if he's got caps for South Africa. So I'm going to go with Makoba and hope that he develops a little bit. It's actually a really interesting thing. If you go to other teams, the Orlando Pirates have a goalkeeper who is 5'11". The Kaizer Chiefs, I don't actually know. I've not checked these ones. I'm going to assume they've got a short goalkeeper as well. They've got Malenga, who's, okay, he's 6'1". But basically, if you look for South African goalkeepers, I'm looking for young ones here. But let me go a little bit older. So many of the ones that are available are 5'10", 5'10", 5'10", 5'9", 5'9", 5'11". It's just, it seems to be a thing that they have shorter goalkeepers in South Africa. So I've chosen to go against that and choose a 6'4" guy to be our main man between the posts. I'm hoping he's going to be good. In front of him, we have got Class Sibaya, who I think is quite class. And he's also only 18 and got caps for South Africa. So he's going to be our main man at right back, and also probably our captain because he's got 17 leadership as well. He will definitely be starting with Tiwani on the left-hand side. If we keep hold of him, I'm a bit worried that Kaizer Chiefs have bid 500k and it's been automatically accepted. So he might be off, which means we will need to replace him, but we will see. Tiwani is good though. Then we've got Chukwuemeka Matthew and Ime Okon. Leratoli as our defensive midfielder. By the way, I'm going to use this 4-3-3, I think. I had a look at the squad. I had a look at what they used previously, and they did use this shape, so I think I'm going to stick with it. Leratoli is a good defensive midfielder. Luke Leroux is a very nice box-to-box midfielder. And then our main man, probably our best player, I'd probably say, is Lafumlo Sifumba. Now, interestingly, when we were at Guangzhou, I was looking for a new midfielder and came across this guy. And he had a release clause, which is why I wanted to sign him. 375k, look. And I didn't in the end. And he was wanted by other teams. And funnily enough, then we've ended up being here. And I'm like, I know this guy. He's quite good. So he's probably one of our better players as well in this midfield. Although I'm a bit worried we might lose him because of that release clause. Then up ahead of them, we've got Maseko. He's 25, decent right winger. I'm going to go with Mokamelo, who's a really good young player that was already here. He's 20. Lots of potential, it seems. Does play as a number 10, though, which we don't have. So I'm going to retrain him and make him a left midfielder or a left winger and use him from here, I think. Because I think with that potential, I think it'll still be worth it. And we might be able to get the best out of him or actually be able to play him rather than changing the system to suit him. Because I don't know if he's that good that we then start playing with a number 10, if that makes sense. So I'm going to retrain him to here. And then up front, we've got Peter Makoba, who's got good pace and good finishing. So he'll probably be okay as well. And he's only 18. Like I said, there's loads of really good young talent at this club. So I'm quite excited about it. The squad looks good. Oh, by the way, Apollos, who I brought in, will probably be starting on that left wing instead of Mokamela. But he's injured at the moment. So he was one of our signings that I brought in before. That's the squad anyway. Obviously, we'll get to know these players a little bit more as we move through the season. We're one of the favourites for the league, and I'm hoping with the signing of a couple of these, Bellaribi perhaps and Giovanni, that maybe we'll become favourites and be able to win this league, get ourselves into that Champions League as quick as possible. I'm aiming, seriously, because I've looked at the quality of the other teams in this Champions League. I'm aiming for a second season Champions League win. I genuinely think we can do it. So let's go and get ourselves started with this season. I'll be back about halfway. I'll let you know how the team's doing. I'll let you know what's happening with transfers. Who went through out of these guys. Did we have to replace Tiwani? Neo Rapu's the guy that I'm looking at, by the way, from Supersport to come in and be our new left back. If Tiwani does decide to go to Kaiser Chiefs, as it looks like he's going to. I'll be back about halfway, and hopefully we're breezing our way through winning this league. Come on. All right, welcome back to around about the halfway point. We've played 15 games. It is a 30-game season, so we're halfway through, although some teams are just ahead of that. We're into November. It's quite nice to be back on a similar type of schedule to the European leagues that I'm used to, that we actually, the mid-season point is at about December. We have a January transfer window. I feel like I just know what I'm doing a little bit more. I know where we stand at any point during the season, which really threw me off in China. It's quite fun to experience those things, isn't it? And also at this point, can I just say a big thank you to everyone watching this? Thank you for the reception to episode number 1, part 1 of this adventure. Thank you for those of you who are subscribed to the channel. As I record this, we've just hit 99,000 subscribers on YouTube. So there's a very small chance that we're very close to hitting 100k right now. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'm so excited to see where this adventure goes, and I'm so glad that you guys seem to be enjoying it. Please keep leaving me those comments. I read every single one, and I do really love to be involved with you guys in the conversations, the discussions about the save in that comment section. So keep it coming. Love you guys, appreciate you guys. Let's also hit 100k as soon as possible, because that would be bloody fun, wouldn't it? Anyway, back to the save. So yeah, here we are in November after 15 games, and we are top of the league. We're actually on for another unbeaten season. 12 wins so far, 3 draws. We are quite, well, Orlando Pirates are very close to us. They're also having a very good season so far. They've got the top goal scorer in Koba as well. They've got 38 points and they've got a 1 goal better goal difference than us. Their one loss was to Galaxy, and we haven't actually played them yet. So we play them twice. End of Feb and then end of March. We play them home and away. That could be quite decisive in the title race, although we are just off the back of an 8-0 win. So we're quite good. I mean, Chukwemeka Matthew scored a hat-trick in this game, and genuinely all I've done for set-piece setup is go through the prompts where it says, you know, in-swinger, near post and things. There's no ridiculous set-piece routine loaded in to make this happen. He's just that dominant in the air. He's fantastic. 6'5", 20 jumping reach. He's actually scored 9 goals in 13 games. It's a really overpowered part of the game. It's actually something I'm actively trying to not overuse type of thing. I want things to be relatively organic, especially in a league which does seem pretty easy to do quite well in. I mean, I'm using a 4-3-3 with just the normal preset gegenpress instructions to do this, and I am having a lot of fun doing so. These are the stats of the players so far. You see those 10 assists from Neo Rapu, who is new. We did bring him in. He cost us 500k in the end. It wasn't 500k up front, but he replaced the outgoing Tiwani, who did complete his move to Kaiser Chiefs. This is the total business then to show you. So the biggest sales in there are that 500k for Tiwani, and then a few other ones are players that I just, after doing my squad these are the players that I just deemed to be surplus to requirements really, and sold on. Rivaldo Curtsy, great name, not a great player though. These are the signings that I made. So after Matthew, I made these signings extra. Some of them in August look, and then some, actually I continue signing players all the way through to towards the end of September as well, which was quite fun. Neo Rapu came in at left back to replace Tiwani. Then I brought in Tamelo Jane to be our backup right back. He's going to be the backup right back to Sabaya, who's been starting and playing games. He scored 5 goals actually from right back. We didn't have a decent backup, and he's 20 and he's pretty good, so he came in from Kaiser Chiefs. Then I did complete the signing of Giovanni, our 6'6" striker. He's doing very well. He's got 8 goals in 11 games, 9 in 12. So can't complain about that. Sign yourself a massive Brazilian striker, and you're probably going to do all right in most leagues, aren't you? Then, very excited about this one, and quite expensive. I would deem anything over 500k as an actually quite expensive signing in this league. If you think about the idea that we get 3 million to start as a transfer budget, 500k is a pretty hefty outlay as part of that. I suppose it was helped because we did sell a player for 500k here as well, but 5 million spent, 600k in, some of it in installments, but not too much, because I don't want to be too silly. And also with this, there is a conversation to be had about how you leave the club even after that Champions League win. You could potentially massively overspend, throw it all into installments, put the club into a load of debt, but then you've won the Champions League and then you've left anyway and it doesn't matter. I kind of don't want to do that. As an extra layer of difficulty as part of this save, I think I do want to be thinking about, I want to leave the club in a better state than when I joined it. Now with Guangzhou in China, we obviously did that because we had the tycoon takeover. So money wasn't an issue at all. In this save, I do want to make that an extra element of it. And I am a bit concerned that we are a little bit in debt right now. I don't think I've done silly signings here. We've spent 5 million, but I have completely rebuilt the squad. And a lot of them are young players that I also think we might sell in the future if we get a big bid. So I do think I want to involve that. And something that I am debating with is how can we keep this difficult, especially in leagues like this. Now that we have established ourselves as quite a high reputation manager, we are now studying for our Continental Pro license. We will have all of the qualifications and a good reputation that can probably get you jobs in Europe at this stage. How can we make sure that this doesn't become too easy? Now, I think Europe especially will be really difficult. I think there'll be difficulty elements in going to North America, either the MLS or go to a Canadian team, for example. There's all of the registration things to contend with there. South America, just the number of games, I suppose, makes it quite difficult sometimes, but I don't necessarily think that part's going to be too difficult. So I think a thing to make it more difficult and make sure that we are being sensible a little bit is to add an extra rule that is we have to leave the club in a better state than we found it, or try and leave it in the best possible state before we leave. So with this in mind, I have signed a lot of players, but I will be thinking about this going forwards, if you see what I mean. Part of that is signing young players. Hakizimana, Jean Hakizimana, is a Congolese midfielder who's only 20. He's very good. Really like him, actually. He's going to come in and be probably our box-to-box midfielder. Not really his best role, I'd probably say. And we've already got a really good Metzala, which is what I'm using in the other role. So he's going to be our box-to-box. He has been our box-to-box, I should say. Sifumba's been the Metzala with Leratoli in behind. And he's definitely going to be a player that will contribute to leaving Sundowns in a better state than we found them in. So because he's young and he's going to have good value, etc., etc. He comes in. Alex Mendoza is a purely profitable signing. The scouts liked him. He had a really good load of potential. Couldn't get him a work permit, so I've brought him in and loaned him out. He's currently on loan at Vanspor in Turkey, but I'm either hoping eventually he gets a work permit or we can sell him for a profit. It was a free transfer for a Peruvian youngster, so that's also with that in mind. Then we did get the deal done for Nadir Bellaribi, who is pretty good. Somehow he chose us over PSG and Chelsea. I suppose it's because we gave him a big wage. 10,000 is a massive wage for this league. And I said he's going to be a star player. And I also said you can have a release fee in your contract. Now I'm feeling good because it's only for domestic clubs. So really you're thinking Kaiser Chiefs, Orlando Pirates are the only teams that could buy him. And I don't know if he would want to go to those clubs, especially if we can start winning the league. That's my gamble with this basically. But I really think we've got ourselves a very special player here. I'd love for his physicals to improve a little bit. But I mean, even then, they're really good. 14 agility, 14 pace. Full natural fitness is, I mean, he gets very tired, does the lad. I mean, his stamina's actually all right, but naturally, he has to work very hard to get there, I suppose. He's also not very strong. But I've been using him as this Metzala in our midfield. At the moment, Sifumba's in there, but he's been rotating with Bellaribi. Since he came in, he's got 7 games here. Not rushing him, but he is definitely ready to play a lot of football if we need him to. The other thing that I've been doing is using Hakizimana as a left winger because he can play there, and then Sifumba comes in here and we do something like this in the midfield. I've been rotating a lot to try and make sure our best players are on the pitch and trying to develop some of our players as well. You'll see that usually Giovanni does start in here as well. This isn't necessarily our best team here. Finally, though, just to tell you about the other signings, we also signed Cassio for 44k. He's just I don't know if he's ever going to be great, but he's a decent, I was going to say Brazilian centre-back, but he's actually German. He was born in Brazil, but he represents Germany under 21s. So maybe he will be quite good. Actually, if he's got into that team, maybe he does have a decent amount of potential. His value's low, though, which makes me think that it's not so much, but I guess we'll see. He came in, he's 6'5", that's why I signed him. And then finally, for 180k, Ibrahima Kouame is going to be one of our winger options, and he's played 3 games so far. He came a little bit more recently. At the end of September, it's now November. So he's played 3 games, but he's going to be an option for us. Only 20 years old as well. So that's our business. These are our games so far. You see, we were just off the back of an 8-0 win there. Did have a spell of 3 games without a win here. Drew to Sekukune United and Amazulu. Honestly, this Pentagon going all around the world, you're going to hear some of the worst pronunciations ever known to man. And right now, I'm going to do a big blanket apology for not being able to pronounce things properly. I'm sorry. I try my best. Okay. So with 15 games played, things look pretty good. We're top of the league. And I guess with no Champions League coming up, I guess we now breeze through to the end of the season and see if we can actually convert this into a title win, which would look great on our CV, wouldn't it? I'll see you at the end of the season. And here we are then. The month is May. The year is 2029. And we are champions of the league. Lovely stuff. It was fairly expected and it was pretty simple, if we're going to be completely honest. We played 30 games. We won 24 of them. We drew 5 and we did lose. It's quite annoying because we almost to the point of it was the final game of the season and we blew our unbeaten season. Imagine Arsenal lost their last game of the Invincibles campaign. That would have been heartbreaking, wouldn't it? We lost at home to SuperSport United, who apparently are a rival of ours as well, which I realised. It's a fierce rival, fierce local rival. And they must be reveling in the idea that they've ruined our golden season. They beat us 1-0 and we dominated the game as well. We got well and truly FM'd. 0.6 XG. Malambo, one of their centre-backs, heads in this massive header look. And yeah, ruined our entire seasons. By the way, this Malambo guy looks pretty good. And I'm sort of plotting the idea that I should buy him just to spite them because they ruined our season. The only thing is he's only 5'11", but he does have 13 jumping reach. Could I get on board with that? I feel like I could. I've scouted him anyway because I want to find out more about him. It's very petty, but I'm definitely debating it. Patrick Malambo, keep eyes on that one for sure. Other than that, there has been some other transfer stuff. But before that, let me show you how the team has been performing. If I show you these stats of the players in the remainder of that season. Neo Rapu, who came in as the replacement left back for Tiwani, got 19 assists. Now, a lot of these are set pieces because the left back, get your left back to take set pieces, even if they're not great at them. I don't know why, but it just seems to work. He got 16 assists and the centre back Chukwuemeka Matthew scored 16 goals. So a lot of those do come from that, but both great. Giovanni, our 6'6" striker, scored 20 goals in his 25 appearances. That is 20 in, they're all in the league as well. Yeah, 20 league goals, 23 goals and 28 in all competitions. An inspired signing, only 19 as well. So we don't have to register him for another 2 years either, which is quite cool, isn't it? Really good. So really happy with what we've done with building the team. You may notice one absentee from this team right now, and that is Sifumba, the man that I called our best player. Another bit of narrative here, by the way. I love this. Was poached, taken from us by one of our main rivals back in China. Beijing Guoan, the team that we had to fight for titles with Guangzhou, have signed Lefumlo Sifumba for 375k. Now, it was his release clause, which was his release clause that I told you I was worried about. You can't really write it, can you? I love it. He's gone there. And by the way, if we keep an eye on, I've left the Chinese league loaded. And what I think I will do is any league that we've managed in, I think I'll leave their league loaded so that we can always go back and see how the teams are doing. The Chinese Super League now is only 8 games in. Guangzhou are top. And it might be fun, I suppose, to go and have a look at how the players are doing, who they've shipped out, who they've kept in. If I look at that team, Wang Wei leading the line. I can see France are in there. Goncalves is still listed as their key player. I mean, let's look at the tactics here. Who's playing and who's not? Renato Sanchez. This is difficult because they've only just started their season. So Renato Sanchez does... They've not registered Marcus Leonardo. He's surely their best strike. Can I buy him? Do you want to come to... No. I tried that before. He doesn't want to come and live in South Africa. That's a wild shout. Adama Kone's played 7. Interesting. I think we will keep an eye on this. Where's our boy? The keeper's changed. Gao Weimin is not... That's not Gao Chow. Where's the hero of the save, Gao Chow? Oh my God. Look what's happened here. Jinan and Gao Chow, the heroes of our Champions League run in Asia, have both been sold to Beijing Guoan for ridiculous money. 13 million, Gao Chow. He's not that good, is he? I mean, he's 5'11". He can't be that good. What? He's got a Chinese cap as well. 64 million value. I did not think he was that good when I signed him. I suppose I spent 2.4 mil on him, but that was just because he was Chinese rather than he was actually good. 13 million. And Jinan, I'm not even sure he was usually a starter for us, was he? I started him because he was tall, because he's 6'4". He's gone for 15 mil. Guangzhou just got even more rich. What was the rest of their transfer business then? They spent 11 million, 36 million in money received. Both of them really. It's Jinan and Gai Chao that brought in the money. Zhang Jie, the right back, left as well. Oh, Tionbane went. He's another one. Somebody left a comment saying he should be the guy that we try and take with us on the journey. We're playing in Africa and he did not want to join. And he's gone and joined Al Batin in Saudi. Oh, we could actually... Oh, no, we can't. I thought we might be able to play them in the final of the Champions League, but that was, of course, they're in the Asian Champions League, aren't they? So that's fun. Is he on big wages? 22k a week. So yeah, he's going to be difficult to sign now until we get good money because of his value, but we will keep an eye on him. Maybe I should add him to the shortlist so we can keep an eye on some of these players. What I really should do is make a shortlist of save heroes that we could go and look at and check in with. If there's anybody that you want me to go and look at as we go through this journey, because I know that you're like, I know what it feels like when you're watching a video and you're like, I wish you would show this. Can you show this? Ask me, honestly. I'm happy to try and incorporate it into the next video. Or often when you leave the comments, I'm sat on my computer working anyway, and I can do you one of those screenshots that I can link you that you'll be able to look at. I can put them into the comments of the videos, which I've done with a few people. So honestly, ask questions. It's all good. We will keep an eye on Tionbane, I think. That's just an interesting little thing. Where did they finish in the league last year? Because we left before the season was over, right? Because it goes over into the new season when you start, because the Champions League goes off into the new season. So they're top of the league now. They did win it again, or was that us? Did we win it once or twice? Either way, they've won it for 2 years in a row now. I want to go and check, actually. Did we win that one? Our job history, we won it once. Okay, yeah, so they did go and win it that second season. We left when they were third and they did go and win it. That's fun. I love looking at this page, by the way, which shows you everything that we've won so far. So this year that we've just had, we won just the South African Premiership. We did win 5 Manager of the Month. And I don't think they've given out the Manager of the Year award yet. But I'd quite like to add that to my CV, please. Add it to this here where we've now got a reputation of 70%. And we're still just waiting on this Continental Pro license. Our win percentage is up to, or is at, I think it was around about the same before, 72%, which is very, very nice indeed after our 2 teams, Guangzhou and the Sundowns now. Just to go back to the team so you can see all of the stats of the players here. There was a little bit of extra business that we did. I've signed a player in January called Mafede. I also, in January, did a bit of business outside of selling Sifumba. We also sold a couple of players, September, Malgas, Jodwana, etc. No real big ones. Sifumba was the main one. Luckily for us, Bellaribi was ready to just jump in and be a starter player in Sifumba's place. It wasn't the end of the world. It just has really meant that Mokamela has played more games on this left-hand side, and I'm trying to train him. He can now play there, look. He's accomplished. And it's just meant that he's played a few more games. Right now, though, we've been given as a budget £1.58 million to spend and a negative wage budget, which I'll probably just chuck in like that because we need to be a little bit careful of this overall balance. I'm a bit worried that if we go and win the Champions League next year, which is very much my aim, I need to think about how I'm going to make this the way it was when we joined. Try and leave this club in a good state. You will get a lot of money, I suppose, for winning that competition. And maybe it's going to be difficult to quantify whether I leave them in a better state or not. But do I feel easy leaving them? Do I feel like I've exploited everything to make sure that we won? Right now, I don't. But I do want to try and make right of things, if that makes sense. Maybe we'd have to win the Champions League and stay for a while until things had recovered and then leave on good terms or something. I don't know. I'm spitballing a little bit. Let's now, though, go and do some transfer business and try and make it sensible transfer business. I'll be back when that's done. And maybe even when we played a few games of next season. See you then. Okay, welcome back after the transfer business is complete. And I got a bit carried away. We've actually gone all the way through to February of our second season here. The Champions League has begun, but we haven't got to the latter stages of that. And of course, that is the main focus here. Having already won the league, I felt like let's skip forward a little bit so that I can reintroduce you to the squad after I've done my latest squad it and also show you some of the signings that I made, which wasn't loads because, as I said, I'm trying to be sensible or at least as sensible as I can be with the budget we've been given. So I was given about 1.8 million. I've spent 2.2, but I've also raised a bit of money by selling a couple of players over here. Let's start with the outgoings. And one of the players that I brought in, you may have already noticed. We sold Oswin Apollis for 325k. Now, we signed him last season. We've made a very small profit on him in terms of if you just think about the transfer fees. Obviously, we've probably lost money because we paid him wages and things, haven't we? He's a weird one because Orlando Pirates signed him for 215k, played 2 seasons. He then came to us for 250k, played 1 season, and we sold him for 325k. Slightly more each time after not being at a club for very long at all. And he's played 7 games over in China now, which is probably just because of where their league it actually is. They probably started a new league, actually, haven't they? Yeah, they're about to. Oh, Guangzhou did not win the league. Shanghai Port won the league last year then. Guangzhou oh my word. It was on goal difference. That's how close they've come. Who won the Asian Champions League? That is something that I'm now very interested in seeing. The Asian Champions League. I mean, if I go to Asian Champions League here, that's probably going to do it, isn't it? It hasn't finished yet. Of course it hasn't. Oh, no, it has. Al Nassr won it last year. So they've not retained it, Guangzhou. If I go 2020, if I go to last season, it was Al Nassr versus Kashima Antlers in the final. Guangzhou came no, that was the year before. That was ours. I was going to say we won I was going to say they've won that easily. It was 11-1. That was last year. Where did they get to? Semi-final? No. Quarter-final? They didn't even get to the quarters. They lost to Kashima Antlers. We played them, didn't we? In our one. They lost to them 3-1 on aggregate. 0-0 at home. Wow. I suppose they did get to the final, but it was Al Nassr who won it that year. Interesting. Very interesting. We definitely digress once again, though. Let me go back to these transfers, because after we sold Apollis, I also sold Nia Rapu. He got all of those assists, and guess where he went? Guangzhou. I don't understand what's happening, but Football Manager loves the narratives and the drama. We end up selling a player to our former team here in Nia Rapu after he gets 16 assists for us. He's gone to China for 300k, yet to play a game. We did make a slight loss on him, but I think I've actually upgraded to a better left back who I signed for free. So I'm sort of okay with it in terms of the fees and the money involved with that one. That left back is Mario Lemus, who is a 20-year-old El Salvador international. Don't have to register him this year. We'll have to register him next year, though. So we need to be a bit careful of that if we don't win the Champions League this year, which is very much the plan. He's going to come in and play left back for us. Also, a new midfielder in Nkululeko Sotetsi. I'll probably just go with Sotetsi for the future reference. He is a 6'3" defensive midfielder. Now, we only really had Leratoli in there, so we needed another one. And he's young enough that he might actually end up being better than Leratoli eventually, Sotetsi. We signed him from Orlando Pirates, which is maybe a bit surprising because he was very good for them last year. But for only 800k, I feel like it's a good, sensible signing that we've managed to do. 14 games for him, 10 starts already this season. So he's doing okay. And then finally, it cost us 1.4 million, which is quite a lot, but I had to do it out of pure spite. I have signed Patrick Malambo, the man that ruined our season last year with one of his 2 goals. He scored the goal at our place to ruin our invincible season. And out of pure spite, I've signed him from our rivals, our fierce rivals, Supersport United. Now, there is also the idea that he's actually very, very good. He's got really good value. He's a South African international. And even though he's 5'11", I'm prepared to look past that because he's got okay jumping reach. He's quick, 16 acceleration, 15 pace for a centre-back is really cool. And he's actually just a really good asset for us, even though the entire idea of signing him was based on pettiness and spite. We do have a youngster joining in the summer, which is for 100k rising to 425k. I am still worried about the balance, which is still going down. It's 4.5 million pounds. But I'm also really happy with the quality of the squad. And I think there are players that if we had to sell to make some money, I feel like we could. And it's been a good season so far. Now, I haven't actually shown you how we've been doing. We are fresh off the back of a 3-2 win in the Asian Champions League Group A and a 7-0 win in the league. We are second, although we're in a pretty strong position. 18 games played compared to Orlando Pirates 20. We win one of them, we do go back to the top. We should really give ourselves a 3-point lead at the top as we chase our 2nd consecutive title here. But we're actually in a bit of a title race. It's quite close. We've lost 2 games. One of them was to Pirates. It was a 3-1 defeat. Drawn 4 twice to Maritzburg, which is just a bit odd on there, isn't it? And Orlando Pirates have lost 3 and not against us. We do still play them again, though. We play them, is it next month? Yeah, next month here, look, in March, we play them at home. So I'm hoping that we can win that game. To show you the Champions League, we had to go through the preliminary rounds, which was fun. We beat Diables Noirs, who are a team from Congo. We beat them 4-2 on aggregate. Then we played Al Hilal Omdurman, who are from Sudan. We beat them 4-0 at home and then drew to them 3-3 away from home. And then that gave us a spot in the group stage. We're in Group A, which is going like this. We played 4. We've won 3. We've got S Sahel, Mimosas from Cote d'Ivoire, who have those young players. I always sign new gens from there. And ES Setif, which is the team that we signed Bellaribi from. So, yeah, there you go. Look, the 800k that we signed him. So, quite funny that we come up against them, the Algerian team. So far, it's been a pretty routine group stage so far. We've drawn 1 game. It was against Mimosas 0-0, but we are going to hopefully go through, and it looks like the top 2 teams go through. I'd like to make sure that we get the top spot because it probably helps with seeding and things in the next rounds, doesn't it? But so far, so good in that. So far, so good in the league as well. To show you the team and some of the stats of the players on here, well, you can see who our star men are. It's once again Giovanni. He's got 23 goals in 27 games. Ibrahima Kouame on the right-hand side, 10 goals, 14 assists. He's taken over set-piece taking duties, which is why he's got a lot of assists in there. And then Bellaribi, big star in our midfield. He is coming along quite nicely. 4 caps for Algeria now. He's got 16 goals as well as a load of assists in there too. It's a really strong team. I really think we've got a brilliant chance of winning this Champions League this year. If you look at the other teams that are in this competition, I'll just scroll down. The ones that I'm most scared about, I'd probably say, are Orlando Pirates, who are in our league that I know we can beat. And then, like, is that it? Like, which other teams in here would you be worried about? Al Ahly, are they the Egyptian team? They're quite good, I think. Their value's massive. And I've seen a few players at their team that look quite interesting to sign. So maybe Al Ahly, ES Chiniz. They've got a similar value to us. Hearts of Oaks at Ghana, yeah. No, they look. I mean, it's difficult to tell without playing them. Zamalek, is that in? Yeah, Egypt as well. You'd surely make us favourites. Oh, actually, ES Chiniz did win it last year, so maybe they would be a threat. And they do have an estimated value of 29 million. Ours is 6 million. So actually it's way more. I thought ours was higher than this. Okay, maybe I need to be a bit more worried than I am, but I still think with the players we've got, with strikers like Giovanni leading our line, I think we can go and win this. And that is what we're going to go and try and do now. I'm going to go and play a load more games, hopefully get us qualified from this Champions League group. If we go through and it looks like we're big favourites, I might play a few rounds and then hopefully we will have won the league domestically and I'll be back for the business end of this Champions League campaign. Fingers crossed. I'll see you then. All right, then, here it is. It's time for our Champions League semi-final for the first time, this time in Africa. We play our rivals, the Orlando Pirates, who are our title rivals for this year. We should be able to just pip them to the title, but it actually could go either way. We've dropped some points fairly recently. We actually just lost our last game. We lost away to Stellenbosch after playing them 3 times in a row, which maybe that's why they'd worked out how we play. First time we played them away as well. We played them in the league. Look how close those league games are to one another. I don't even know why. I don't recall there being a game cancelled or anything. It just feels like it's happened this way. But right now, Orlando Pirates, I wonder who is actually in the other semi-final. It's a Tunisian team, ES Chiniz, and then a Moroccan team, I would assume, in Casablanca. You'd have to say if we win this tie, we are hugely odds-on favourites to go and win the competition. This might end up being, although actually ES Chiniz did win it in the, last season and won it again in 24-25. So maybe they're a little bit more tricky than I'm giving them credit for. They weren't in our group, were they? That was somebody else. That was ES Setif. Are they also from? No, they're from Algeria. I was just checking it wasn't them. This Mimosas team from Cote d'Ivoire as well. They're the ones with all the amazing new gens. I'm pretty sure we signed somebody from them, didn't we? When we were in China at Guangzhou. I tried to sign this guy, Dimmy, but I didn't in the end. There you go. Look, we signed Adama Kone from them for 500k. Is he still at Guangzhou? No. Oh my word. Look at his value. He has moved to Saudi Arabia with Al Khalij. How much for? For 4.8 million. That's not very much money. I mean, they've still made a lot of profit there, but that is, compared to his value now, not that much money. Anyway, we digress. Let's go and get ourselves up to this game let's go and play the first leg of this semi-final off the back of a defeat as well. So we need to put things right. The team is pretty much everybody fit, which hasn't been the case. We've had so many problems with players just going on international duty and then injuries as well on top of that. I think we're pretty much looking good here. We don't have a sub-keeper unless I put John Mokwena. Do you know what? He's greyed out. I'm going to risk it. Sometimes in life, you have to risk these things. I'm going to go with no sub-keeper on the bench, I think, for this. We're going to go Makoba in goal, although actually he isn't fully fit. So maybe I should put... No, I'm not going to. Sabaya, Matthew, Malambo and Lemus as our back four. Do we go to Sotsi or Leratoli? I'm going to go Leratoli, I think, as our defensive midfielder. Hakizimana and Bellaribi are easily our best two central midfielders. Kwame on the right-hand side. Mokamela is back. He's been injured recently, not fully fit. Look, he's going to start on the left. Giovanni, the main man, 39 in 40 goals from him. Just what a man, what a signing. I've had to reject so many. I think even if I show you on here, I've got the transfer instruction to reject all bids. And because of that, he was a bit unhappy that he wanted to go. So we agreed that the asking price should be 1.8 million. And then nobody's bid that since, which is fine. He's got a contract until 2032 and I think an extension. No extension on there, but no release clause. So we've still got another 2 years. We might not have to worry about that though. If we win this tie, I honestly feel like we should win the final. And it should be a case of us immediately resigning like last time and getting ourselves straight off to North America. I've seen some comments, by the way. Are there any suggestions of what teams we should go for? Obviously, it will depend a little bit on which jobs are available. But we've got ourselves now the Continental Pro license. We've got a good reputation. We should pretty much have the pick of teams if they become available. Does anybody have... I think we'll go to North America next. Any preferences of where we should head for? Is it maybe a Canadian team to mix it up and make it a little bit more tricky? Or do we finally take on the MLS, which is terrifying because there are so many rules, just so many rules. You've already seen me mess up on rules in China. So maybe that could be content in itself going to the MLS. Let me know anyway. We are now ready to get underway. We are in fact underway against Orlando Pirates. Benny McCarthy's Orlando Pirates. Just looking at their team. Is there anyone in their team that we've sold to them? I don't think we've sold to these much. We've sold a lot of players to Kaiser Chiefs who are struggling this year. I don't think Orlando Pirates have taken any of our first team players, at least. No, I don't think so. Here we go though. First highlight, Sassane. Slightly injured their left back there. Or is he their centre back? Gilberto's on the attack. This is a good pen? No, thank God for that. It was a clean tackle. You just never really know in Football Manager, do you? We're on the attack instead. Giovanni's bulldozing his way through. Still got it. What a man. The big dog up front. Smashes in. Oh, I thought that was in. It was Bellaribi, who, by the way, just to pause very briefly. I can't really show you on here now, can I? I want to show you just how much progress Bellaribi is making. I am convinced that his potential ability must be something silly because we had... I mean, PSG were linked to him when we bought him and as among some other Premier League teams. And he is flying up in ability. Those attributes improving massively as he went close. I think that was him. He just went close then. He's very small in our midfield, is Bellaribi. I'm pretty sure that was a chance for him there. Saved by the keeper. Been an okay start. We've had all the shots so far. That highlight's going to end with a throw-in, though. Just want to show you here, look. I mean, we've actually got down arrows here. But all right, after a bit of a quick flurry at the beginning, we've not had any more highlights, really. They've not had a shot yet. Giovanni's actually, I think, kind of picked up a knock, as has Chukwemeka Matthew. I thought that was a penalty then. It looked like it was in the box. Mokamela's got a free kick opportunity here, though, to give us the lead. Hits the bar. Cleared away, and then a lovely diving header to make sure that the clearance is completed there. A couple of our key players may be injured. They've got an injury as well. Did they take him off, Sassane? They did. They had an injury to... It was their centre-back. I thought it might be their left-back, but I think it was their centre-back. We've got a corner. Lima swings it in. There's Matthew. He is a threat, but he's headed it wide. We kind of have to take our chances a bit here. This is the home leg. This is where we need to take a lead because we've played away at Orlando Pirates, even this season, and lost. They are a good team. I'm going to say keep going, but I'm a bit worried that this is the exact game plan that Benny McCarthy has come here with, which is to just be solid and try and frustrate us. And at the moment, I'm quite frustrated. Right, let's Giovanni on a 6.4 and that tired. Makoba can make a difference. He's pacey, is Makoba. He's got 16 pace, 16 acceleration. He can make things happen. Also, Mokamela I don't really know where we'd play it. Do you know what? Hakizimana can come into the midfield and Sot Etsy can come on in there. And that kind of makes sense. We'll use Hakizimana out wide, which I've had to do quite a lot this season, actually. So that's okay. Here we go. Highlights straight away after the changes. I'm not even sure the changes have gone through yet. Even though they haven't, because Mokamela's still on. Can we score before I change it? No. Good save. Doesn't hold it, but saved by the goalkeeper. This is frustrating. If we don't win this game, I think I will be worried for the second leg. Let me shout at them. A bit of encouragement. I'm worried about how tired Matthew is as well. We really don't want him to get another injury. He's had quite a few. Bellaribi as well, actually. A lot of injuries so far this season. Malambo now. Even a 1-0 lead is okay. It's not ideal because, I mean, it's not as good as winning, what was it, like 5-1 or something in the last time we got to the latter stages of a continental competition. But we take it, I think. Actually, the Pirates on the ball right now. I've gone back to the keeper. Whose highlight is this even going to be? It's a very long one, which sometimes feels quite goal. Is it short? No, we've won it back though. This does feel goal. I reckon we're going to take the lead here. It's Makoba. It does go in. I told you, it feels goal. You can sense it in Football Manager. Not even sensing it. You just sometimes know, don't you, watching a highlight, that it's going to end up in the back of the net. It's 1-0, and we've given ourselves a platform now to take away to Orlando Pirates and hopefully get this game won. It's smashed in through the keeper almost. We make it 2 here. This could have been curtains. He's headed it over though. Let's think about our subs. Do I want to now, with the situation we're in, do I want to try and force this to try and win by more, or do I go quite sensible? I think one sensible thing to do is to take Matthew off. So I'm going to bring on Tomelo Jane at right back and put Sabaya in at centre back. And then I think I'm tempted to roll the dice slightly, but I don't really know if we've got the players for it. I'm looking at Kwame, who's not playing amazingly on the right-hand side. But I don't really see who can go and play there other than Sabaya. I could do that, but he's not really a winger, is he? Can Majosi play there? No. I mean, not at all, apparently. Can Bellaribi play there? Maybe we do that because he's one of our best players and getting him further forward, maybe. I'm going to do that. 20 to play. A second goal puts us well and truly in the driving seat for this, doesn't it? Good tackle that. Flying in from Bellaribi. Now playing on that right-hand side. This is good football. We've lost it though, but we're going to get it back again. Is it a bit early to say that this feels quite goal? It does feel quite goal though. Jane down the right-hand side. Bellaribi. Sabaya now playing centre-back. Slow build-up. I reckon we're going to go 2-0 up here. I'm getting excited. Sometimes you just feel it. Ball over the top. Bellaribi. There's a man in the middle. There it. Oh. Forget everything I just said. He's put it wide. I think that was just poor finishing though. They definitely carved out the good chance. Still 1-0. Completely dominant performance. Don't count your chickens just yet though. Highlight again. It keeps starting with them on the ball, but our positioning is so dangerous. It feels like we could win the ball back at any point. It's always good because sometimes you play against teams and that's how they make you feel. I feel like we are making them feel like that right now. Although they have actually broken the press a little bit here. Muchweni down the right-hand side, given away again. That's what I'm talking about. At any point, it feels like we could win the ball from them and launch our own attack, which is what we've done here. Got Setsi down the left-hand side. It's Ian, it's Makoba. Told you. That was the chance from before that felt like goal. It just was a little bit delayed. It's 2-0 and we're in the box seat. This is a very accomplished performance, isn't it, from our boys? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I feel like we may have just quite simply and efficiently, professionally managed to win this African leg of the Pentagon Challenge. This may end up being the easiest part. I've been very thoroughly invested in this team in the Sundowns, but after building the team in the first season and winning the league that year, it almost feels like this was inevitable. Like you don't come up against really good. This is maybe the Pirates themselves might be the best team that you could come up against, although they have scored a good goal there. The ref's going to check this one. Again, this is where it is actually going to count. I may have got ahead of myself, but I just feel like maybe that changes now. But if we can get past these, I just feel like it's going to be a done deal. 2-1 is the final score. I am now a bit more worried. I was giving it the big talk, but now we do have to go to theirs, and it's only a 1-goal advantage. Let's say well done. Let's go and see what games we've got in the meantime. We play a league game next. Yeah, we have one league game in the middle, which I think I might have to rotate for. Because what's the gap? It's only 3 days. 4 days to this now, and then a 3-day gap. I might have to rotate for this game, which could actually throw this wide open again. If they win their game. Do the Pirates play on the same day as us, away at Polokwane City, who are a bit rubbish? Okay, then I'm going to go get myself up to this second leg. I will rotate for our game against Sekukun, and I'll see you for the second leg away at the Pirates. All right, then, here we go. It is second leg time for a place in the final against a team that surely we should definitely beat. Their league isn't even loaded on the game. We have just played a game, by the way. We won our game 2-1. It was actually quite tight in the end. It was a 2-1 win. We needed Giovanni to come in off the bench to score the goal. This is the team that I started, so you can see that it was much rotation. Sotetsi and Mokamela may be the only two that regularly play that started the game. We did have some subs needing to come on, though, and they did win us the game in the end. Unfortunately for us, the Pirates also won their game. They won 4-3. And was it late on? I suppose probably. Yeah, 87th minute winner from Orlando Pirates. It means the table looks like this. We're 1 point behind with a game in hand. We still have the advantage there. Now, though, the real business. We've won that league already. If we win this game, we're right there to go and win the African Champions League, aren't we? We're going to go with, I think, the same team. Makoba Sabaya, Matthew Malambo, Limas Leratoli, Akizamana, Bellaribi, Kwame Mokamela, and then Giovanni. The only person I'm worried about is Mokamela. What was I looking for on the bench? Maybe another attacking option, wasn't it? Potentially. Shall I put Cube on the bench? He's very young, very raw, but did score 2 on his debut. So it does make me think that he might be able to score goals. I just don't know. Is he going to make a difference? Probably not. Let's pop him on the bench anyway. Let's go with Malongo. And let's do this team. Let's get ourselves into this second leg. Hopefully for a place in the final. Come on. Okay, their team once again. I don't think we know any of the players, do we? But Benny McCarthy. Oh, Selo Nene. Did he play for us? I kind of think he did. I think he might be an ex-Sundowns player that is in their side. He wasn't very good. So if that is the case, that makes me feel quite good about this. I'm going to check it. I thought he moved there. We loaned him twice and then he's gone to Orlando Pirates. Is he good? No, not. He's only 20. Got 25 under 20 caps. Anyway, okay, there is the villain of the piece potentially. We need to go and get ourselves a win here. This is a tricky place to come. A goal here would help a lot. Headed over by Giovanni. We do have threats from set pieces. We've got, of course, Matthew in there, Giovanni in there, both of them. Malambo, I was going to say, but he's actually quite short for a centre-back, isn't he? They are threats. Maybe they have threats of their own, though. Vaz, this is a chance. Gilberto, oh my word, it's deflected over. It's actually not. He smashed that over. I thought it took a deflection, but no. Chance, something that they really didn't create in the first leg. They've had a chance to score in this second. I say that they didn't create a chance. They did score a goal, didn't they? They didn't create many chances in the first leg. We need to be kept. You have to be really careful with what you say to them here because it takes into account the aggregate score and not the individual score on the night. So I have to praise rather than if I encourage them, even though it's 0-0, they'd get upset, wouldn't they? Radio Pane. That's a really cool name for their striker. Actually, as far as the tie's going, this is a fine first half. A goal would really settle things down, though. They've got a free kick. He's taken his time over it. What is he doing? Lads, come on. He's just really positioning the ball for a long time there. Magabane shoots, saved by Makoba. He's been good, by the way. I actually feel like Makoba's made a lot of progress this year. I'm glad that I stuck with him, going for the big tall keeper rather than one of the other many 5'8" goalkeepers. I feel like it's worked out nicely. He's now a very solid, only 21 as well, a very solid goalkeeper for this league, I think. Okay, so we're approaching half time. Still 0-0 on the night. We still lead 2-1 on aggregate. A goal here right before half time would be lovely. Kwame swings it in. Headed away. Headed back in. Oh my word, that's off the line. This is a very weird highlight. Kwame, it's going to go in. The corner takers picked it up and smashed it in. They failed to clear it. And Kwame says, thank you very much, and buries it. It's 3-1 on aggregate. And at this stage, you really have to think we're going to go and win ourselves the African Champions League, don't you? Not 100% sure whether ES Chiniz or the other team, was it Casablanca? I don't know what the result of their game has been, if it's already been played. Doesn't seem to show it on here, but surely we beat either of those. And maybe this was expected. Maybe this part, this section of the Pentagon was always likely to be quite easy. Now, Mamelodi Sundowns are a good team right towards the top of the South African League. Winning the Champions League with them, probably a little bit more straightforward than winning the Champions League with a Chinese team in the Asian Champions League, especially when you consider those Saudi teams that are in there. This maybe was always going to be the easiest leg. Lots of people do this leg of the Pentagon first to start things off. So actually flying through it was to be expected. You would then also expect the next leg to be difficult. We're going to go North America. Maybe, I don't know, let me know your thoughts on this. Maybe I need to think about how I can increase the challenge for myself a little bit. Maybe I don't need to think about that because they've just scored a really good goal from distance and I need to be really careful heading into this last 10 minutes. I need to do subs. I was on autopilot just chatting to you guys. Let's bring on Sotetsi and because he's a little bit more defensively minded. Let's also do Majosi and just freshen up the midfield. Sabaya for Jane. Let's do fresh legs. I'm now a bit worried. That's a great goal, by the way. He picks it up outside the box here. Muchweni into Magabane and he smashes it in. Wow. Okay. 9 to play. Can I say like focus? I never use focus. What do they think about focus? Did they like that? Not really. No. There's 4 minutes added on. Oh my word. There actually is a highlight. Don't do it like this. Shabala. Van Wyk. He's hit the post. Oh my word. That was the chance. They almost took it. I was going to say take it to extra time. I think it would be extra time. Yeah, it would be because it'd be, in fact, exactly even. They still might. Van Wyk is heading into the box. Oh my word. It's saved by Makoba. The man that I was actually really, really praising earlier has just made a save that will keep it. Oh my, we've not defended this very well at all. It's bounced over. Oh my word. What are you doing? Like, oh my God. What are you doing, lads? Calm down. Is that because I told you to focus? We're going to be fine, but oh my word. Of course there had to be drama. There's always drama. We're through to the final with a 3-2 victory here. But my word, did we just try and make that difficult for ourselves? The XG for them must have just gone up so much right at the end there. In fact, where is it? Yeah, oh my word, it did. Look at that XG increase at the end. They couldn't score, and we've got away with it. That was way too tense. But we are into the final. Now, what I was saying is that there will definitely be challenge in this series. And I know that loads of you appreciate the challenge in a series like this. I know that loads of you love the fact that we got stuck at 13th in the Youth Challenge and in the Scottish Challenge where it was difficult. I just wanted to mention that I'm well on board and I understand how you feel about these things. That's why I'm wondering if we need to just be a little bit selective in which team that we choose when we go to North America, rather than taking one of the top jobs, because technically at this stage we probably can, because we have a Continental Pro license. Our reputation is good. Our reputation percentage is 75%. We could probably go and walk into one of the top MLS teams. Let me know your thoughts, because is it inorganic to try and engineer some difficulty, or is it more fun to engineer that difficulty? Let me know your thoughts basically at this stage here, because I don't want it to become a procession. I genuinely don't want it to become a procession. I want it to be an adventure, as always. Again, we're kind of pulling back the curtain of content a little bit there, but I think it's necessary. I do think it's a good conversation to have. So let me know. And right now we have got a few games to play in the league, and then it is a two-legged affair. Like in Asia, we are going to play ES Chiniz, reigning champions ES Chiniz, I should say. They did win it last year. Can I see that actually? Who did they beat in the final last season? It was CFAX, SFAX. They beat also from Tunisia. Where were the South African teams last year then? Semi-final? No. I mean, I know we weren't in it, but lads, Orlando Pirates went out to SFAX. Kaiser Chiefs went out to Casablanca. Am I writing these guys off a little bit more than I should be? Are they stronger than I'm giving them credit for? Should I be worried about ES Chiniz? I mean, they've got a lot of money. Their reputation's quite high. They've got real players in there. You know what? Maybe I am. Actually, maybe I am. Mokwana's their striker, who looks pretty good, and he's actually South African. with lots of caps and lots of goals for the national team. Their key player is Zemzemi. Fantastic name. It's difficult to see how good he is, but a 20-year-old with 21 caps for Tunisia as well. I guess we'll find out, won't we? I'm going to go play these games and get ourselves ready for this two-legged final. Come on. Here we go then. It is African Champions League final time. First leg. We play the first leg at home. So similar to the semi-final, we really need to make sure we give ourselves the advantage to then go away to their place. I feel really confident. I don't know. You used to be able to click on things like this and it would give you who was favourites and the odds. Does it still ever tell you the odds? I feel like I've never seen that or don't see that anymore. And I'd like to know, maybe in the news, is there like a thing about this? Expectations? Well, they say the board expects us to draw and the supporters expect us to win. Is there anything else that says who's the favourite is? Here you go. It is on there. We are favourites, 6-5. It's quite close, actually. Tunisia are 2-1. So maybe I shouldn't be as confident as I currently am right now, but I do actually feel quite confident. The team, we have a few issues we need to just quickly sort out here. Do I play Class Sabaya, who's quite tired? Now, that isn't through playing him because I did rotate everybody for the final game. We've actually gone on a 3-game winless run. We've drawn twice in the league. We are still just about top. Although, actually, I think the Pirates have just lost again or something. They played an extra game and now they're joint on points. They just drew to Stellenbosch. So they're trying not to win it either going into the last 2 games. 1 win for us pretty much wraps it up, doesn't it, in those final 2 games there. But I did rotate everybody in this 1-1 draw. You can see by the team here. Sabaya, did he come on off the bench? Is that why he's a bit tired? I did rotate the team, but Sabaya did have to play at left back because we didn't have any other left backs with our much rotation here. So that's why he's a bit tired. We do need to make a decision on him. We do have Tamelo Jane who could play. I think I'm going to do that rather than take a risk. The other one is Kwame, and I don't really know what to do other than Makoba, but Makoba's also tired. Could play you there. And then maybe we do this. I think that's maybe the best way to go so that we don't have really tired players in our team. Play Mokamela on the right and then Hakizimana on the left. And then Sotetsi plays in the midfield. I think I'm going to do that. That's the team. Let's go and get ourselves... Oh, I've got 2 more subs I can pick. Cassio and Fedi. You know what? I should probably put the goalkeeper on the bench, shouldn't I? For a final. Just in case something goes badly wrong. Kwame... I'm going to leave him on the bench just in case we need him. We head in to the African Champions League final looking for pretty much a perfect run to winning the African leg of this Pentagon challenge. If we win over these 2 final legs, that would be almost perfect. I'm glad that we did do the live comms for the Orlando Pirates ties because that felt like there was more jeopardy than this one. I might be massively underestimating Chinese here, but that felt like the one with the jeopardy attached to it. As we go on the attack, it's over from Bellarabi. Good effort. Well, actually, it wasn't even a good effort. Bellarabi is good, but he's never really going to score from there, I don't think. First 9 minutes, the highlight we've seen. I like their kit. Here's the kit that I made for the Mamelodi Sundowns, which looks nice in person, I think. Don't you think? Here we go down the left-hand side. Hakizimana tackled. There's a bit of... Oh, my word. He's drilled that back into his goalkeeper, who had to be very assured in his touch there, didn't he? Was that the highlight? The fact that it nearly went in from the back pass? I think it was. I think the game has somehow counted that as a chance because it was actually so close to going in, even though it was a back pass. Oh, my word. What a free kick. Mokamela has just smashed in a free kick to give us the lead in the African Champions League final first leg. When do we stop getting first legs? That'll be an interesting thing. That is a great free kick. Keeper, not sure he covers himself in glory, but Mokamela, so glad that I've stuck with him. I had to retrain him as a winger, basically, because we didn't play with the number 10. He can now play on either side. He's playing on the right today, and I'm very glad I stuck with him. His physicals aren't great, but he's been a very, very important player for us over the course of these 2 seasons. 25 minutes on the clock. We lead. A second goal, please, to take to their place, so there is no upsets happening. We don't want this fella scoring a goal, do we? All right, we're approaching half-time. We just had a massive spell with no highlights whatsoever, but we have a Chinese attack just before half-time. Makwana's lost it. Malambo has it back. A second goal for us is lovely. A goal for them does put the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit. They have won it back high up the pitch. It is Fella. Oh, my word, I've cursed it. He's lost the ball. Was that a highlight? Are we going to go up the other end and score? I really thought Fella was just going to pop that in the back of the net there. Go on, Fella. Right, tackled, but no, we've won it back again. This could be a really long highlight. No, that's it. We've had some strange highlights in this final, wouldn't you think? Like, where was the actual highlight? Was it just that the chance presented itself a little bit? Maybe it was just that. We are on key highlights, right? Yeah, we are. Very strange. They've made a sub at halftime. We are going to keep things the same, I think. Although, we could bring on Sabaya now for a bit more quality at the back now that Jane's actually about as tired as Sabaya would have started the game. That's given away. Makwana, it's only 1-0. And this is our home game. If they equalise, it could be a bit of a worry. Elias Makwana has equalised for ES Chiniz of Tunisia. And my calmness, call it complacency, could prove a little bit foolish right now. It's put in by Makwana. There's half an hour to play. I need to make changes to make sure we win this game. Otherwise, we go away to them. And it could be really bad news. Do I risk Kouame, who's quite injured? I think I do. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to do this. Kouame on. Mokamela goes to the left. I am going to bring on Sabaya at right back. We could do Makoba as well. For Giovanni, who's not having his best game. He's had a lot of good games this year. This is definitely not one of... Oh my word, they've won the ball back again. Fella has it. I'm really cursed that he's definitely going to do something influential in a minute, isn't he? Uhabi. Teka. Fella. I mean, it might be influential for us. He was going the wrong way for a second there. Oh my word, this is our long highlight as well. We've had weird highlights, though. It could just end and nothing happens, but we'll see. A very long highlight. They're passing it around the back. Will they? Who will make the move to turn this into an actual chance? Bikoro. Uni. It's really good football from them. If they score from this, then do you know what? Fair play. Cresto crosses. What a ball in that is. It's headed over by the goal scorer Makwana, but that was stressful. What a ball in. That was a beauty that he's just delivered, right? Okay, 20 to play, and I'm stressed. It's 1-1. I don't want to have to go to theirs and win because you know what can happen in Football Manager. That home advantage, it means a lot. It is the thing. Right, Makoba on for the misfiring Giovanni. I think we have to call him. Not his finest 73 minutes in a sundown shirt, that. Let's get him off and bring on Makoba. 15 to play. I am going to encourage them to score another goal. Not particularly helped. They've got the better XG. I mean, their goal was basically on the line, but they've got the better XG. We've only scored from a speculative free kick, haven't we? Oh dear. Go attacking, I suppose. Berate them, encourage them one last time. Tobias is so tired now that he's on. We might have fumbled this. We have to go to theirs and win now. They've got the away goal. Now, I don't know if away goals count, but you'd imagine they do because they did in Asia. We might have fumbled this, and magnificently so. 1-1 at first leg. We play again after playing Black Leopards at home in the league. A game which, if we win the Premier Division title. It's kind of important, although we do have the backup of the Supersport game. So I think I am going to rotate. We've actually weirdly gone 4 games without a win here. We are bottling this at the end of this season. We potentially could bottle the league, although I don't think we will. We are out of the cup here, the Nedbank. We've just drawn our home leg of the final. I'm a bit worried. Let's get ourselves into this second leg and hopefully it will all be fine. Okay, here we go. We have won the game in between. So I fully rotated the team and I was very careful not to include any of our current players in this 11 or in this squad, basically. Makoba may be the only one you could argue, but he's not usually a starter. Same as Tumelo, same as Jane at right back. But the rest of the team, very young. Cube, the youngster, scored another goal here. We won 2-0. It does mean that we've won the league. However, it won't be confirmed because technically, actually, it depends if it's done by goal difference or head-to-head. Did we beat... They've beaten us once. Did we beat Orlando Pirates? We beat them 6-1. They beat us 3-1. So I think even on head-to-head, we would win the league here. I don't know if it's on head-to-head or goal difference. I should probably check that, shouldn't I? Because it's quite important at this stage. It is decided by goal difference and then goals scored. Okay, so we've pretty much won it because they're not going to score 23 goals in the final game. I mean, technically they could, but I don't think they're going to. So we are champions again, 2 seasons in a row. Are we, though, going to be Orange CAF Champions League champions this year? That remains to be seen, and we've got a bit of a problem selection-wise. We've got a tired-looking few lads. We've got some lads, despite being rested, they are a little bit tired. And Lemus, our left-back, is suspended. Now, we could do Sabaya on the other side, which I think is what I'm going to do. It's him or Majola, and I think he's better than Majola. So we're going to go Sabaya at left-back. Very tired defence. It's not great. Bellaribi's also knackered, but I think we'll do... In fact, is Kwame back? Kwame is almost back. I might risk him. Think I'm going to there and do that and do that. It's not ideal, is it? Lemus off the bench. We'll put Mafede on there. It's not ideal, this, but it is what it is. We're going to have to get ourselves now into Champions League second leg, and it's completely up in the air, despite me thinking it was a done deal. We might have to go for another season, and who knows, maybe even another season after that. There's the Chinese team, as we have gone away to Tunisia to play this final. Lads, do the business now. Prove me wrong. Well, prove me right, actually, is probably what I should say. They're on the attack first. We've got a lovely away kit on. Jane's won it back at right back, but lost it again. Cresto, chance, off the post and cleared. Let off. Inside the first 15 minutes. Just after 10 minutes. Massive let off. I'll encourage them again. I don't know if they like the encouragement or not. They seem to. They're happy about it. Kwame's having a good game. We need you to make an impact first half, Kwame, because you are very tired. You're probably going to have to come off. No highlights yet for us. Here we go. Sabaya on a yellow card as well on that left-hand side. Can we get ourselves back in front? It's Kwame. He's hit the post as well. Okay, we've both hit the post. Both threatening each other's goals. Still 1-1 on aggregate, 0-0 on the night, though. Very even on the XG as well. Okay, it was a good effort from Kwame. I don't want to have to take him off because he's tired, but I think I'm going to have to, aren't I? I don't know who the sub is either. I suppose it's Sotetsi back on and put Akizimana back on the left wing, I guess. First half, not lots has happened there. Are we going to have penalties? Extra time? I don't want to. Kwame, I want to leave on as long as possible because Bellaribi has to come off as well here. He's very tired. Sabaya's on a 6.3 as well. I think I'm going to have to change all of them. Let's do fresh legs. Maybe sacrificing a little bit of quality here as well, but I think we have to. We're going to do... You know what? Actually, I might keep Hakizimana in midfield. I might bring on Makoba on the right-hand side because he's got the pace. I'm going to do that. We'll do Makoba on the right-hand side. Again, it's a no-show from Giovanni here. We just score a goal, lad. You've scored about 40 this year. Could you just pop one in the final for me here? No? We're going to have no highlights. We've had one shot on goal. This is way more tense than I thought it was going to be. I apologise to the entire nation of Tunisia. I've been to Tunisia as well. It's a lovely place. I massively, massively underestimated you, and I'm sorry. You've really made a match of this, ES Tunis. We do have a highlight here, though. Can somebody be a hero? Makoba off the bench is going backwards. The left back, Majola, that's a highlight, is it? Doesn't say loads about the quality of chances that have been created in this game, if that's a highlight. Got a 6.3 striker and left winger. Do I change personnel or do I change system here? Do I throw on an 18-year-old and hope he becomes a hero? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm also debating whether I send on Cassio because he's 6'5". Can you play up front, Cassio? I'm looking at Mokamela. We could do Majosi, who can't really play there, but he can play there. Let's do that as well. There's 10 minutes to play here and we need a goal. I'm going to berate them. I don't know how they're going to react to that. They did not like that. Probably because they're not actually losing, but they are playing rubbish. We're going to go to extra time, I assume. Who knows what the rules might be? We're into 3 minutes of added time. It could go straight to pens. I don't know. It goes straight to penalties. Oh my word. It's a penalty shootout to decide the African Champions League. Let's pick these takers. In fact, if I get you to pick, yeah, I can change it. Let's put Makoba on. Let's get Math. Who's the best taker? Oh my word, our best takers are 5. We might be cooked. Our best penalty taker has 5 penalties. Right, Cube's quite good. I'm going to put him on first. I say Cube's quite good. He's got 4 penalties, but his composure and finishing is better than Malambo's here. So Tetsi goes there. We'll put Makoba on 5th. Okay. I'm going to pump my fists. I expect us to win. They didn't like that. I went with something outside the box. They didn't love it. Right. Fellas on the first one. Coursiers. Let's get ourselves behind this goal and get ourselves a nice view of this. Also, let's put the speed down ever so slightly so we don't miss this. Fella takes first for ES Chiniz. A penalty shootout in the Champions League final. He goes down the middle. Nice pen, fella, is what I'd say to him at this stage. Cube, our 18-year-old striker that I brought on to try and make a miracle happen, has scored. It's a good finish. 1-1. We get to go second, which is not the best, is it? Going first is definitely proven to be an advantage in penalties, isn't it? Uni to take for Chiniz. Come on, keeper. He's scored. This is why you go for a big, tall keeper. He's going to make it work here. Chukwemeka Matthew, our big 6'6" centre-back to take next. 6'5", actually. It's gone in. It's not a good penalty. Straight down the middle, but the keeper, Juni, couldn't keep it out. Zemzemi, 2-2 after 4 penalties. Oh, it went down the middle as well. Makoba, you can save those. Akizamana for us with his right foot. Scores. Good pen. All except for Chukwemeka Matthews. They've been good penalties for takers that have 5 and 4 penalty taking. I wonder what the Tunisian players have. Mabrouk, it's a good pen. He sent the keeper the wrong way. It's 4-3. We're at the stage where you can't blinky, you can't miss. So Tetsi doesn't miss. Oh my word, that was close to the post. We're at sudden death. From this point on, everybody, 100% record, we are in sudden death. Uhabi. What a penalty that is. Right into the top corner. Makoba goes the right way. And now, our striker Makoba has to score. Sudden death is upon us. In fact, this is more so. It's more sudden than sudden death. He has to put this one away. Makoba does put it away. 10 penalties, 10 scored. And now we're into the players who didn't want to take one. And I have a feeling some of ours are going to be very bad at penalties. Cresto. Oh, it's gone in as well. It's a good pen with his left foot. Who's next for us? Is it Leratoli? Is that why his name's popped up at the top? I assume so. No, it's Malambo. Our centre-back. Chukwemeka Matthew scored his. And his defensive partner score his as well. It's a long run to that penalty spot now at this stage, isn't it? 6-5 on pens. It's saved. And oh my word. It's heartbreak. Because we don't win the Champions League. I deserve that. I deserve that. That is a real taste of my own medicine. Fair play to ES Chiniz. I honestly thought we were going to blitz them, but our team fell out of form right at the final moments of the season. We need to go and rethink and rebuild again a little bit for next year. We should have won this year. And it's a major extra amount of time that I need to spend playing this game to make sure we win this title. Right, back to the drawing board. And this is my grand rebuild. You might be looking at this team thinking, hang on a minute, those are all the same players. They are. I don't think we do need a rebuild. I think we were really close to winning that competition. And now any signings or doing loads of and ripping up everything and starting again is probably not the right thing to do. So I haven't. Now, that's not to say that I won't make transfers, but on day one of the season number 3 here at Sundowns, and our 8th season of our journey so far, it's 2030. I've actually only made one signing this summer. That man is Bojan Stepanovic, who is going to be a new left back for us. He's going to be in competition with Lemus for the left back spot, and he's really good. He's a 21-year-old Serbian international. Now, getting a player that plays for Serbia to come and play for us in South Africa feels like a pretty big signing, actually. He's really good. He's very solid indeed. I don't think he's the player necessarily to make sure that we win the Champions League this year, but I think he does make us stronger. And that's pretty much all the business that I've done. I did sell this guy, Ledwaba, to Kaiser Chiefs, but not for very much money. And we did finalise the signing of Raymond Kabore, who is actually a pretty good youngster as well. He's another Senegalese youngster who I think we actually might start on our left-hand side. It's going to be a total of 400k, but it's 100k up front. He actually, I think, might be one of our starters this year because he's a more natural left winger compared to Mokamela, who we had to who we retrained to play left wing, didn't we? That's all the business though, unless something else happens. Now, there is interest in a few of our players. Malambo, I've had to reject quite a lot of bids for. You can see up to £2.4 million. I think if it gets much more than that, by the way, Guangzhou are one of the teams that are trying to buy all of our players. If that gets a lot more, I think I will need to have a look at some alternatives that we could maybe go and sign and take the money. Now, we'll talk about the money in a second. We didn't get much in terms of a transfer budget this year. We've got 430,000 left. And no wage budget left over that. We got about, I think it was 700k, and I put it all into the wage budget to cover that. And then also our wage bill had gone up because of yearly wage rises, etc., etc. So they didn't give me loads of money, and that's because our balance overall was quite critical. I think we hit £5 million in debt, but I came up with a plan. I decided we would run the most labour-intensive pre-season of all time, and I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 friendlies, as well as this random testimonial of a Golden Arrows goalkeeper. He didn't even ever play for us. We just got chosen to play against them. And then before the tick over, there was actually a load of friendlies as well, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 friendlies here. And that was because I realised with the balance being quite low, we could make millions. If we did enough friendlies, we could genuinely make millions. And that's what I decided to do. I've got our balance from about £5 million in debt here, look, 4.67 million in debt. I've managed to, through lots of friendlies, get it up to £763,000 in debt. It actually went to 446 at one point, but it is slowly and steadily declining again. But I do feel like I've fixed quite a lot of the problems, and it leans into that idea of trying to leave the club in a better state than we found it. Now, I know I have spent relatively heavily to turn us into a Champions League challenging team, but if we'd won it last year, I don't know if I could in all good conscience say that I'd left the club better than I found it, even though we had won that competition and won the league and things. Because of the financial situation, we dropped to, I think it describes us now as being, okay finances. I think it was insecure at one point, maybe even worse than that. So I have kind of fixed it. And the other thing that might fix it again in the future is that a lot of our players are wanted. I've also rejected bids for Chukwemeka Matthew. I just don't think we can lose him, even for £1.5 million. Leratoli, Kaiser Chiefs. I actually accepted this bid for Leratoli, and he rejected Kaiser Chiefs because he wanted to stay here. He's lost his place as first choice, but 800k I thought was quite a good bid, so I accepted it, but he wants to stay anyway. We've got a load of our players who are wanted as well. If I go down the list, Sabaya, heavy interest from Guangzhou and a team called Salal in for him. He's actually upset that I've not accepted those bids. Milambo, as you saw before, very, very highly, is also highly coveted. Bellaribi, Guangzhou are also in for them. Hakizamana, Guangzhou are in for him. Leratoli, you just saw. Mafede, who is a youngster that I brought in. I don't know if I showed you him before. And then a couple of loan signings as well. I will consider bids, I think, as long as when I go to the player search, I can find a player that could come in and replace them. Especially if I can find a player that can come in and replace them for cheaper. So this is kind of what I'm all weighing up. But overall, I'm actually quite confident. If we go into this season, we are big favourites once again, 4-9 odds on to win the league for a second time. Then we just need to get ourselves back into that African Champions League and go again this year. What I did learn last year is that transfers carry on all the way through September as well. So here in August, it's still quite early days in the transfer window. So there probably will be some moves made, which is why I'll probably come back at the halfway point of the season to tell you about any transfers that I do. But right now, I'm happy with the squad. This is the squad that we're going to go with. Kabore may be just starting on this left-hand side, although Hakizimana could play there and we could go with Leratoli. Majosi is very much improving as one of our midfielders as well. He could come in. I'll rotate and I'll be using most of this squad, of course. But let's go and get started again. Our target is clear. Can we go and win that African Champions League? Before that, can we do well domestically to set ourselves up? I'll see you at about the halfway point. All right, then, here is that halfway point. It's the 7th of December, and we've just hit 15 games, which is exactly halfway through our league campaign. We've won 14, and we've drawn 1. We've drawn 1 game at home to Kaiser Chiefs. We've won every other game. We are currently unbeaten. It would actually exercise quite a few ghosts if we could get that invincible season. After that one in the first season, which, I mean, just look at it. I'm going to look at it again here. That one loss on the last game of the season. Outrageous. Anyway, we have a chance of doing it again this year. We are well clear of the second place team, which is Kaiser Chiefs. They've played extra games and we're still 5 points clear of them. We're tearing it up, if we're going to be completely honest. And we've just made a start to the Champions League campaign. We've got Generation Foot in our group. This is our group. We've got Raja Casablanca of Morocco. We've got Rivers United of Nigeria. I'll tell you right now, they're not great. We beat them 4-1 and it could have been a lot more in that game. And then Generation Foot, another team to look out for new gens. I've signed a whole load of new gens from this Senegalese team. It's quite fun to actually be competing with these teams that usually I just use as sort of factories to buy new gens from, which sounds completely immoral when you say it out loud like that, doesn't it? But we are topping this group so far. We should be fine to go through. Let me show you, though, the transfer business that I did end up doing, and I think it's quite interesting. We now have £4.4 million in the bank. Now, that is quite the sharp increase. We went from 4 million in debt to now we went to £6 million in profit in the black, and then waned away a little bit since then. But that all came from this transfer business that we did after the start of the season. We sold players for £11.25 million. Most of that money was made by selling Jean Hakizimana to Guangzhou. Our friends over at Guangzhou have now signed a couple of our players, haven't they? If I go to their transfers here, they signed Hakizimana this year, and then last year they signed Neo Rapu. Is Rapu still there? He is still there. He's the transfer listed now. Maybe we could get him back, actually. Not sure we need him, though. We've got some good left backs now. They gave us £5 million, which is a lot of money for this league. I actually thought the £2.7 million that I got given for Patrick Malambo, talked about potentially selling him. In the end, we got, maybe it looks like a bargain for them right now, £2.7 million from Al Wada in the UAE. And that gave us enough money to go and replace him. And I immediately replaced him. But you can see this is the order of the transfers out. I sold Cassio first because I couldn't register him anymore because he's 22 now, which meant that he took up a foreign spot. And actually, because of a few of the other players took up foreign spots, I couldn't register him anymore. So I decided to sell him on. He's gone to Bologna. He's a strange footballer because Bologna wants him at 57k. I didn't think he was that good. And he still doesn't have a big value, even though he's playing in Serie A right now. It's a stranger, and he's in the Germany under-21s. I can't work out if he's good or not. Like, I look at his attributes and think he's not amazing, but the teams that want him and buy him, and you know, his international career tells me that he might be quite good, but I'm just not really seeing it. I'm not sure. Anyway, he went, and then I sold Malambo. Straight away, I went about trying to replace Malambo, so I brought in Alan Pena. Now, he didn't come in immediately because work permits take ages in South Africa, like up to a month. You sign a player, and then you have to wait a month for the work permit to go through. Alan Pena came in on a loan, and it is a loan that costs us a bit of money, but I think it was necessary. We lost a really good footballer in Patrick Malambo, and signing Pena will get us through at least till the end of the season, and he's superb. He's a really, really good defender. An Argentinian under-23 international on loan from Boca Juniors. He will sort us right out in the centre of defence. So I'm happy to pay the money, especially if it wins us that African Champions League. And it's only 500k, so if you take that out of the money that we've got from selling John Hakizimana, I still feel good about leaving the club in a better state than we found it, etc., etc. He came in, and then after that, the big one, we'll ignore the Mcube loan. The big one is that our main man, our captain, Klas Sibaya, went to Al Wada for £3.5 million. After signing our centre-back, they also signed our right-back. And this made me jump into action. Sibaya was so good, and he was such a good captain. Up to 18 leadership. He was We inherited him. He's been at the club forever, look. So it's a real shame, but I couldn't say no to £3.5 million, especially when I'm trying to be conscientious and sensible, as I've mentioned before. So he went for 3.5. My rules for selling a player was, can I find a player to replace them for cheaper? And that's why I kind of sanctioned the deal to sell him. The one that I keep saying no to is Chukwuemeka Matthew, because I just can't find a player that's going to replace him in the team, even for the same amount of money. So it just isn't worth selling him, even if they offer us big money for him. So whereas with Sabaya, I managed to bring in Senzo Shongwei from Cape Town City, who I think is actually just a really good replacement. South African international, 20 years old, right back, good physicals, solid right back, who I think will do the job that Sabaya was doing for us. Won't quite be the captain, but actually does have decent leadership as well, to be fair. He came in for 600k, which made that deal just make sense in my mind. And then finally, then we got the bid for John Hakizimana, £5 million rising to £6 million. He went out, and then I needed to replace him. I've done it in a slightly different way. I looked for a midfielder, a box-to-box, couldn't find one. And on my travels of scouting the world, I found a player playing for CR Belouizdad, who are an Algerian team. Actually taking the time to look through all of these African clubs, you will find so many gems. And Salim Bouzidi is that gem. Now, he's not a central midfielder. He is, in fact, a striker, but he's blooming brilliant. So this then prompted me into making a change of formation. So instead of buying a new midfielder to replace Hakizimana, I've gone to 2 strikers. I've literally taken the system and shoved a new striker up front. So it becomes like a 4-2-4 with a defensive midfielder and a Metzala. And where the DM would usually be central and there'd be another midfielder here, I've just sort of made it a little bit asymmetric like that. And Bouzidi comes into the team to play as a striker alongside Giovanni. So I have replaced him. I did find a replacement, but I had to be a little bit creative in how I actually went about doing that. So Bouzidi comes in, 400k for this guy. This guy he's actually only got 2 in 5 so far, which worries me a little bit, but this guy should be the real deal and should score us goals that will help us hopefully to win the Champions League this year. He came in, and then finally we had some money left over, and I felt happy enough with where the finances were to spend money on Alan Capture to hopefully come in and play as our right winger. He's an 18-year-old Bolivian international who looks like he's already quite good and might have a bit of potential as well. Our scouts loved him. He's got good acceleration, pace, and then good crossing, first touch. And he's only 18, and he's in the national team already. So he comes in from the strongest, the Bolivian team with probably the best name out of all the Bolivian teams, I'd imagine. Alan Capture comes in, and it makes the squad look like this. If I show you all of the stats on here, you will see that Giovanni, halfway through this season, is once again the main man. He's got 28 in 25 games. Overall, he's got 55 goals in 66 games for us. Just outrageously good. It's what you get if you get a 6'6" striker who has good physicals and he's good at dribbling and most of the other important attributes. He scores goals. He is very much wanted right now. A lot of Saudi teams, you notice on there, are trying to buy him. And I think if I show you, I've got it on reject all transfer bids because I just won't sell him. He's not a player that I will be able to go and find a replacement for, especially not for £1.2 million. He's worth way more than £1.2 million to us with the goals that he scores, even if he doesn't really turn up in Champions League finals like last season. I'm hoping he can put it right this year because we are going for that Champions League again. We're on a roll, and with that Champions League now underway, I'm going to go and continue this season. Hopefully we win another trophy here, which, by the way, will go on our CV, which is looking really good. We now have our Continental Pro license. We don't have to get any more badges in this series. We've done it, and we're still in Africa, which is quite cool. Our reputation is up to, I think it's 80%, look, which is very cool indeed. Our win percentage is 73%. If I show you the job history on here, we are now, I mean, look at that. It's glorious, isn't it? The one season that kind of lets it down is this third here, but that was because we left before the end of the season. This was season 1. We did get manager of the year, and I think we talked about it, and it was before they'd given it out. We did get it. See, last season, we didn't get many. We only got one manager of the month, which is a bit disappointing. We did win the league, though, so there was that and the Talcum knockout. This year, we've got 3 manager of the months already. Then hopefully we can add the Talcum trophy, as well as the league trophy, and surely, and even more hopefully, the Champions League trophy. Right now, I'm going to go and play these games, and similar to last year, I'll be back where I'm hoping we're into the latter stages of this African Champions League. Fingers crossed. I'll see you then. All right, then here we go again. We are once again in the latter stages of the Champions League here in Africa. We are in the semi-finals where we will now play Al Ahly of Egypt. I'm actually a bit worried. Last year, I massively underestimated teams. This year, I'm hoping that I'm overestimating teams, and I'm actually scared about this because this team is rich. 136 estimated value. Now, I'm not quite sure how they estimate that value. Is it to do with the values of the players? I think it is definitely an aspect of that. If I do go into their team here, they've got players, but maybe if I search them by wages, Ahmed Kuka has got a high value. Now, if I look at how good he is he a lot better than some of the players that we've got? So he is a left back. If we compare him with one of our left backs, so Mario Lemus here, if we compare them, is he actually a lot better? So his value is 130k, whereas his is 5 million. I'm looking at it and thinking they're not that much different. Maybe he's a little bit better, but then again, Mario Lemus doesn't always start for us. Maybe that's that, and actually that's their best player, at least their most or their highest paid player. Who's their best player? Who's listed as their key player here? Ahmed Ahly, 6'3" centre back. Is he better than Chukwuemeka Matthew? Because that is the question here. Who would you prefer to have out of these two? I mean, to be fair, he is maybe better than Chukwuemeka Matthew. We've got better. Matthew's got better defending, better aerially, but yeah, okay. He's actually really good. He's their best player though. Are their values telling the true story here? Or are we actually going to beat them? I did have a look at the odds as well for this one. We are suggested to be favourites for this game. So, I don't know. I guess the proof is going to be in the pudding. Last year where I underestimated it and we lost, the Champions League before that, I thought it was going to be a really tough game against Al Ittihad, and we beat them 11-1 on aggregate. So sometimes I just don't know what's going on. Right now, though, we are in a Champions League semi-final where if we get through, it looks highly likely that we're going to play our South African rivals, Orlando Pirates, in the final. Now, I know how good they are, and I know we can beat them because this year we are champions once again. We've won the league by an absolute mile. There are 2 games to go and we are already confirmed as champions. 79 points. We've only lost once, and that was to Kaizer Chiefs. We've drawn once. That was to Kaizer Chiefs. We've beaten Orlando Pirates home and I think away. Pretty sure we've played them. Yeah, we don't play them again. We've beaten them home and away. We can definitely beat them if we get to this final. We've got a striker that scored 27 goals here. Giovanni has had his best ever season for us. 27 in 28 league games. Please do it on the big stage. Actually, does he dislike big matches or something? Is that why he struggled? I don't think he does. No, he doesn't dislike them. He doesn't have it as a pro or a con. So that doesn't really explain why he was so bad last year. But please be good this year. These are the games that I've just played. We did also win that Telkom knockout final. We beat Kaizer Chiefs 4-1 in this game. So we are about as ready for this as you could possibly want. We went on, I think it was like a 40-game win streak. We went on a ridiculous amount of games win streak. We lost to Kaizer Chiefs, which blew it. So we're not going to have that invincible season that got so cruelly taken away from us in season number 1 here. But we can go and make amends in the Champions League. Also, we've already made amends in our bank balance. We've got £10 million in the bank balance, which I need to tell you about before we even go and play these games. And that is because I have sold a player for Sundowns in South Africa. I sold a player for £17.5 million. Nadir Bellaribi. I had a feeling he was good. He's gone to St. Louis City in MLS for £17.5 million. Now, this is interesting because our next stop, if we win this Champions League this year, is going to be MLS or the Canadian League, a North American team. Maybe we aim for St. Louis City to be reunited with Nadir Bellaribi. Feels like an idea we could... Why is City in all caps, by the way? That seems like a choice, a real choice. Anyway, he's gone there and played 9 games and scored no goals for 17 million, which just makes me feel happy inside my heart. It gives me a clean conscience that if we do win this Champions League and we leave here and I immediately resign, as I did last time, we've left the club in a really good state. I actually replaced him as well. I went into the market. After losing him in January, I replaced him with 2 players. One for just under £1 million. His name is Saifuddin Samir, who is an Egyptian winger. Actually, interestingly, could he, as an Egyptian, score the goals that see us through against the Egyptian team Al Ahly? Could be an idea. He's a left winger. He is very good. He was less than $1 million. He's only 20, got Egyptian caps, and he's just a really solid starter on our left-hand side, whereas before we were using young players. Samir starting here. For most of the season, I've been using Raymond Kabore, who actually has made loads of progress and improved, but he's not the finished deal. And actually, if we're going to win this competition, we probably want players that are the finished product. And Samir's a bit closer to that, even though he's also young himself. Capture playing on the right, loads of progress from him. He is getting better and better playing on this right-hand side. I'm also debating, do I use him or Kouame, who's probably a little bit more finished? He's also got 26 goals. Look at that, by the way. Giovanni's got 54 and 45 in all comps. Peter Makoba, who's been playing up front, not even every game because Bouzidi usually does. Bouzidi's got 25 in 24 games. And Peter Makoba, who's in at the moment because of Bouzidi's injury, has got 19 in 17 starts. It's like we have been free scoring in this 4-2-4. It's literally just a gegenpress, but 4-2-4. And our players are just better than the rest of the players in this league. Anyway, I digress. That's the transfer business. Right now, we are at the business end of the season. I just realised, by the way, as I was looking through the fixtures, I just had the home, all of our home games were unticked on here, which is why that looks slightly different. I was like, I did think we've been on a way longer winning run than I showed you before. It also explains why we're actually all out of order here. It also explains why there was only a second leg showing up. I was like, surely we're not playing the second leg first. Where's the first leg? I hidden all the home games. Right now, though, these are the actual results. You'll also see that I've tried to raise a bit of money in January or in the winter break by putting some friendlies in as well to try and gain some money. That was before I sold a player for like nearly £18 million. There's the actual results. We are on a tear. Look how many goals we're scoring. 6 goals here, 7 goals here, 7 goals here. We're way better than other teams in this league. But are we better than this Egyptian team, Al Ahly? Let's pick a team. Let's get ourselves into this game. And let's pray and hope that we give ourselves a nice lead to take into the second leg. We play at home first. One issue is that we've got no keeper. Well, we do have a keeper, but Andrew Makoba, our first choice keeper, has torn his wrist ligaments and he's going to miss the home and the away leg. I don't know if he's going to be back if we make it to the final. I'm unsure about that right now. So he is going to be replaced by our pretty rubbish backup keeper, Ian Mashego, who's actually out of contract. Make yourself a hero, Ian, please. The rest of the team, Chongwe, Pena, Matthew, Stepanovic, Sotetsi. The new signing, which I didn't even show you. This was the other signing. I did sign Samir with the money. I also loaned in Joel D'Alessandro with the money. So he's cost us a little bit. It's a loan that we're paying 400k for. But he's going to be our midfield replacement for Bellaribi. And he's really, really good. He's an Argentinian under-20 international. He's brilliant. He's actually might be better than Bellaribi, but of course we don't actually own him. He wins us the Champions League right now, though. That doesn't matter, does it? On the right-hand side, I think I'm going to go Kouame. Just because of that goal record, I'm going to auto-size these so you can see. He's got 26 goals, 26 assists in 29 games. I think I'm going to go with him. Samir starts. Makoba and Giovanni. Bouzidi's fit for the bench, but I'm going to start Makoba because he's got a really good goal record. This is the home game. Let's get ourselves into it. Ooh, if we don't win it this time, I will be seriously upset. I feel like this almost feels like the final because I know we can beat Orlando Pirates, especially over 2 legs because we've proved it. If we can get through this tie, we'll be in a really good spot. There's the Al Ahly team. Who did I pick out as the best player? Ali, the centre-back, wasn't it? We're underway. Corner to us. First highlight. 9 minutes approaching. Headed wide by... Who was that? Was that... I'm not sure who it was. Pena, I think it was. Why are we... Oh, we're still behind the goal. All right, second highlight. We've won the ball back. Kouame, who I've chosen to start this game. He's on the run down the right-hand side. Let's get ourselves an early goal. Settle all the nerves. Makoba, back to Kouame. He's giving it straight to nobody. We're going to get it back, though. This is a weird highlight that sometimes ends up in the back of the net. Joel D'Alessandro with the goal. The replacement for Nadir Bellaribi. And he scored in what feels like a really important game, a semi-final. This was a strange pass by Makoba and an even more strange pass by Kouame. But he picks it up, look, gets it on his left foot, and he sweeps it into that corner. We lead. We lead in the Champions League semi-final, first leg. Reader Slim. That's a great name. Fantastic name. We've got a corner. Samir to swing it in. Pena on the end of it, headed over. All right, it's half time. Half time. No more highlights then in that second half. We have a lead. It's quite reminiscent of the first leg of the final last year, it feels, where we had that lead. I thought things were going easily. or going well, and then they equalise. Let's not let that happen here. Let's go. Oh my word, D'Alessandro again from range. He's such a threat with those long shots. I actually hadn't realised. I don't know what his long shot attribute is, but in this game we've seen proof of it. He scores the goal and goes close then to probably the 2 closest chances we've had for goals. He's got 12 long shots, so it's not terrible, but maybe not as good as he's shown. We've got another corner here. We are a threat from these. We've got Pena's actually massive as well. And then obviously Chukwuemeka and Matthew. Giovanni, he's massive too at the back post. Stefanovic has got it. Giovanni, it's going to go in, is it? No. They've very calmly cleared that off the line there. Giovanni, if you could show up in a big game, I would be forever grateful. He's the type of player, by the way. Being Brazilian, oh, I've had a thought. If when we get to South America, bringing Giovanni over with us could be really fun, couldn't it? Because he's young enough that that could still apply. If we go North America next, we've got a chance here, by the way. He smashed it in. Was that an own goal? It's an own goal. Oh, it's Ahmed Ali. I've talked him into that. I gave him the big build-up and said he was their best player. He's conceded an own goal. Shongwei down the right-hand side, the replacement for Sabaya, has smashed it across and it hits him on the arm and goes in. We've got the 2-goal lead. This is what we didn't do last year. Now, I know this isn't the final, but like I said, it feels quite like the final because the Orlando Pirates haven't been as good this year. We've been able to beat them home and away. Anything can happen in a final, I suppose, but this feels like the big one. Stefanovic now gives it away. Do I start time wasting? Do I start trying to be a bit pragmatic here? Try and get through this. This is a good attack from Al Ali. Slim. The reader Slim Shady. That's brilliant for me, that is. Credit where it's due, right? The reader Slim Shady. That's really good. Anyway, we are definitely being distracted. We've got the ball back. It's a long highlight, this. Does it feel goal? Samir against his Egyptian compatriots. Sotetsi. But it's in! Makoba! Offside? They're going to check it. I think the linesman flag might have been up. We can't see it right now. It is currently down. Giovanni looks like he gets fouled. Goal awarded! It is a goal. We're 3-0 up. We're doing the business. We're actually getting it done. They are rubbish. Why did I second guess myself? So Tetsi plays it in. Giovanni just misses it or gets fouled. And Makoba scores. Now, with an hour played, I'm going to... Who do we get on to see this one out? Let's do... You're not playing that well, so we'll do Capture there because he's very good. Let's also do a left-back change because Lemus is very good. Let's also go here and tell them to time waste just a little bit for now. And we'll see this game through. Half an hour to play. A 3-goal advantage going into the second leg is a glorious place to be. Machego, what are you doing? Okay, thank you. He was careful. I am a bit worried that he's rubbish. All over the top. Giovanni. Go and do something magic. That is actually magic. That's a great... Oh, my word, he's missed it. He saved it, keeper, there. That's a lovely ball by Giovanni, but the keeper's pulled out a great save. Samir's corner. Headed away. Samir picks it up again. End of highlight. Okay. We have been completely dominant. There's only 15 minutes to go. I've not even... Because the game was just ebbing away there, I've not actually made any more subs, but I don't think we need to. Nobody's overly tight. Samir maybe's the next sub. Capture down the right-hand side now, though. Into D'Alessandro. What a pass that is. What a goal that is. Shongwei's put it in. Look at this pass from D'Alessandro. Joel D'Alessandro scores the opening goal in this game and he plays a ridiculous Mesut Ozil-like pass when he picks this ball up. Capture finds him. Like, the vision to see that there is outrageous. And then Shongwei, a bit like the own goal that they conceded, this time just puts it in himself. 4-0. It is time to do subs, but we're booking our place in this final. We're doing the bit. I'm gonna get him off D'Alessandro now, just to give him that applause, that acclaim that he deserves from this performance. A goal and a great assist. Actually, they've set each other up. Look, Shongwei and D'Alessandro. 5 to play. Shongwei down the right side. We could add a fifth here. Oh, he's headed it over. Chukwuemeka Matthew was still up from the set piece and he's missed it. That though is the full-time whistle. We've got ourselves a 4-0 lead for the second leg. And do you know what? I'm gonna take a chance here. Stranger things have happened in football, in continental competitions as well. But I'm gonna go and play the second leg, and I'll probably be back for the first leg of the final. But if I do blow this lead in the second leg, you will see full footage of that, I can assure you. But I just don't think we will. So I'll see you now for the first leg of the final. I'm going out there and saying that. Okay, this is it. We did make it through, by the way. We are now about to play the Champions League final here in Africa. We won the second leg 4-2 against Al Ahly. It was an 8-2 on aggregate overall. This was the performance. We scored a goal from Pena. Bouzidi scored a penalty. He's back, by the way, which is actually really big news, especially when I show you something in a second. Giovanni scored, turned up in a big game. Bouzidi also scored another penalty. We did need 2 penalties, but we were already 3-0 up, which would have put us 7-0 up on aggregate before they scored their first goal. I think we were always pretty safe, weren't we? Now, though, after these performances in the other competitions, we go and play the final. Now, we've got a bit of an issue. Giovanni is injured. I rotated the entire squad in the last game. He got injured a while ago against Amazulu. We played them in the semi-final, not the last game, the game before that, and Giovanni got injured in this one. He's now not going to be able to play this first leg. He might be back for the second leg. He's 6 days and 3 weeks away. We play on the 18th and then the 25th, so there's a week in between. He might be able to play. He might still be orange injured, which is a real shame because he's our main man. He's got 55 goals this year, so we're going to miss him. We've also had real issues with our goalkeepers. Both have been injured, but Makoba is fit to play, although he's currently some way short of full fitness, but I think that'll be okay. So Mashego joins the bench. Giovanni will be replaced by Makoba. He will have to come out and we need to put somebody on this bench. Let's go Raymond Kabore. I think the team, though, is going to be this. We'll go Shongwe Pena, Matthew Stepanovic, Sotetsi, D'Alessandro, Kouame Samir, Bouzidi, and Makoba. It's a good replacement. It's the same team as before, but Giovanni replaced by Bouzidi. Annoying we couldn't get the 2 main strikers in together, but we are where we are. Let's go and play this first leg. We are at home for the first leg. Again, that's been the case in almost all of these big games, isn't it? We have to try and win our first leg and then take a good result back or over to our South African compatriots, Orlando Pirates. We should be confident. We've won the league against this team, but anything can happen in a final, can't it? We're in yellow. They're in their black kits. Let's see how this goes. We're underway. 5 minutes on the clock. First leg. 0-0 so far. Nothing's happened. First highlight. Here we go then. Let's see. We've picked up the ball. Makoba. He's quick. I was going to say he could run away from them. He doesn't. We've gone back. Stepanovic. We've got players in this box, though, if he can get his cross in. Bouzidi. Keeper comes and doesn't get it. Bouzidi heads over. Would have been a nice start, that. The first shot of the game. Here's a set piece. A free kick. He's rolling out his shoulder a little bit there. Who is it? It's Maswanganyi. He's really taking his time over this. This is a good position for a free kick. Gone wide. In fact, it's saved. Makoba using all of his 6'4" to tip that one wide, it would seem. Corner to them. But we've got away with a pretty big chance from that set piece. That's a good run from Lingbo. Sasani, I think. Is that Sasani Nene? I think they've got a player that we sold them. I think we looked at him in the last time we played these, right? Nene, here, look. Is that Sasani Nene? No, Cello Nene. Either way, he was ours. We sold them to Orlando Pirates, and now I've pointed him out, which makes me worried. But 3 shots from us, 2 from them after 20 or so minutes. Very even game so far. We're approaching half time here, and we've not really created loads. I need to encourage them. This isn't the type of performance I was really hoping for. We need to get ourselves a goal, really, don't we? It's not panic stations, but this is our home tie. They're potentially in charge as well, which is a worry. 55 minutes on the clock. Do I make changes here to try and chase this game, or are we going to have to do this the hard way? We do have a highlight starting. Looking at the stats, though, Orlando Pirates have had more shots than us and the same amount on target, but we are in behind here. Makoba has got support. Bouzidi's that man. He puts it in, the flags up. That's not going to count. He looked offside, and this linesman immediately put his flag up. I'm not going to get carried away because this one, I think, is going to be chalked off for offside. It is. Good to see us creating a chance. We carve them open. From this point, if he plays it here, look, the tricky pass. He delays and then goes. This will actually be quite close as well. Is it? Yeah, no, he is offside. Okay. 62 minutes gone. We're the one team that's put the ball in the back of the net. Bazidi's not playing great. We do have Alex Mendoza as a change. I'm going to do it. He's not as good, Alex Mendoza. This is the guy that I signed to try and flip for profit, but he's actually been a useful member of our squad. Only played 9 games, scored 3 goals, but I'm going to bring him on. Make yourself a hero. Who else could we do to try and force something to happen here? Maybe Kabore for... No, I'm going to leave you on. Maybe it's Capture. I feel like he was quite good when he came on in the first game. In the semi-final, I should say. 20 minutes to play. Can we find ourselves a goal to try and win this game from here? 10 minutes left. I'm looking at the team and thinking, do I make a change here? I'm looking at Samir. He's not playing great. So let's get him off for Kabore. Come on. Can we find a winner in this last 10? I've encouraged them already. I think we really would. Obviously, I'd much prefer to have scored a goal. We are on the attack. Stepanovic into the box, goes down. Referee, he's given it. He's given this as a penalty. This could be the reprieve that we need. I've just taken our best penalty taker off. Bazidi is by far our best penalty taker. I don't know who's going to be on this because it's Bazidi or then Giovanni. But we've got a penalty. It's Chukwemeka Matthew, isn't it? No, it's Pena, the centre-back. He's quite good at these. Scores to give us the lead. That could be vital. That could be the difference in this final. We really needed we needed something to take back to the Pirates, didn't we? It's a 1 goal courtesy of a very late penalty, but I will absolutely take it. In fact, there is a chance that we might be able to get a second here. We're on the attack. This could be game-changing. Kabore off the bench. Stepanovic. D'Alessandro. We know he can score from there. And he has. We know he can score from there. He smashes it into the back of the net. And we have got ourselves a 2-goal lead. Would you believe it? From nowhere, we might have just done the damage that clinches this final. That clinches us the African Champions League. It was a 4-minute blitz from us. 5-minute blitz if you want to add them all up properly. It's all 6, I suppose. From 87.93, and it might be done, although they've got other ideas. Orlando Pirates on the attack, cleared away. I mean, we might even go get another goal here. Maybe not. They're in. It's Gilberto. They have scored. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. He's going to check for offside, but I think he's onside. What a ridiculous end to this game. It's going to be 2-1, I think. We've switched off a bit there. Maybe I should have gone defensive. It has been awarded. It's going to be 2-1. What's going on? It's all over. We do have a lead to take into that second leg, but it's not the lead that we maybe would have wanted. That is... okay. It's still a good thing. We lead 2-1. We go and play them away. What was the score in our away? We beat them 4-2 last time we played them away from home. I'm going to go and get ourselves ready for that game now. I'll see you for the second leg. Okay, it's game day. We've got ourselves up to, it was the next match, so you haven't missed anything. I rested the team. This is the selection process. The big question is, can Giovanni play? The answer is no. He's not really ready, is he? He's only got half fitness there. We'll pop him on the bench because he might be able to come on and make a difference, but that's a bit disappointing. I might actually, who do I even take off the bench here? Maybe you, because then we've got centre backs. Yeah, I think that works. I think the team's going to have to be the same. I mean, they did get the win. Go and do it again. Don't make us go to penalties or something like this. If we need Giovanni, he might be half fit and barely able to run, but he might be able to get us a goal. Here we go. Second leg, African Champions League final underway. Away from home. I'm scared. I'm scared. When do I stop wasting time? Should I waste time now? No, that's too early. No, it's too early. 10 minutes gone, though. This is good. 12 minutes gone. 20 minutes on the clock. First highlight. It's a chance for Orlando Pirates. They've scored. He's onside as well. It's all level here. That's a lovely worked free kick. The flag has stayed down. I think we're all disallowed. He has disallowed it. Oh, my words. I was sure that this was going to be given. The linesman doesn't put his flag up, I swear. Or does he really quickly and I missed it? No, he doesn't. We're fine. We've got away with one massively there. 25 on the clock. What do I say to them? I'm just going to say, praise them. Well done, lads, for getting away with a linesman call. Don't give it away there, please. Gilberto looks like a threat. I don't know who this guy is, but he looks quite good. Can we get the ball off them? No, we've left a lot of space in behind. Nene, he used to play for us. Oh, no. It's happened. Of course it has. I've talked that into existence as well, haven't I? Nene has scored, and now it's all level. And now I'm stressed. I made that happen. We look all over the place defensively. This is going badly wrong. Makoba is beaten easily. Half an hour on the clock. 2-2 on aggregate. They've got a highlight starting immediately before I can do anything or change anything. Chance here. Malefe. Passing it around the back. Go on, nick that ball from them. Get that gegenpress engaged. Nene. Oh my word. He pushed up to try and win it and didn't. They seem really scary. What's happened there? He phased through him. It's gone over. We're okay. Half an hour on the clock. We're on the attack now. It's headed back to the good save keeper. The highlights are coming thick and fast. Like, it feels like the FM gods they're working with something here. And I don't like the way it's going. Even though it's still level, it feels like the momentum is well and truly with them again now, doesn't it? They're drawing us out on this press here. I do want to make a change, but the highlights are coming so quickly. They're in behind. What has happened there? Keeper, what have you done there? We're losing. But I swear the keeper just came out and how did this go in? Makoba, are you still injured? He doesn't dive for it or anything. He just lets it go past him. What was that? Okay, we're approaching half-time. We are behind. We need to make something happen, and we've blown it again here. This could be another season in this league. Another season with Sundowns where I felt like we're so prepared to go and win it from here. We are in behind. Makoba, he's put it in. Now, is he onside? They're not even checking it. We are back level. It's 3-3. Don't panic. We've snatched a goal and maybe wrestled back a little bit of the initiative here. This is a good goal. I thought they were going to check for offside and they didn't. It's into. I thought for that one there. Bazidi comes deep. I thought he might have been offside, but clearly not. Makoba's on. The centre-back steps up. It's a great finish from Makoba. All right, 3-3. Heading into half-time. Oh, my God. I was going to say heading into half-time. How many highlights are we having in this half? We had so few in the first leg, and now it's all happening. Maybe this is a bit naive. Maybe I shouldn't have gone. No, I don't think it is. I think I would do this 10 times out of 10. I was thinking, should I have tried to defend this lead? It was only a 1-goal lead. I don't think so. Corner, Kouame. There we go. So simple. Ibrahima Kouame has scored a header from a corner, and we're back in front. It's terrible defending. Kouame is not one of our bigger men either. And there's like how many people around him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all closest to him. And he's still got a free header. That's awful defending, and I do not mind it at all. And now it's 4-3. What a game. We scored 2. I mean, even it's actually quite similar to the very end of that first game, isn't it? With all of those goals coming close together. That's what's happened here. Makoba, we're looking for a third here. Stepanovic, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. Keeper goes the wrong way, and now it's 5-3. What am I watching? What am I watching? 3-2 on aggregate. 3-2 on the night. 5-3 on aggregate. And suddenly we're in control again. Stepanovic, the left back. It's a good finish. I don't know what the keeper's doing again. He dives the wrong way there. Nias. It's 5-3. Come on. Now we're back in. Now it would be a bottle job if we lose it from here, wouldn't it? We're good. Let's think carefully about subs and things. And let's think. And maybe Strongway, because he's not playing very well. And then maybe think about trying to see the clock down or run the clock down a little bit from this point on here. Orlando Pirates have the ball. We've got 5. They've got 3. They score again here. It is game on, isn't it? They might do. He's in. Play him. Don't play him, actually. That's even better. Gilberto down the right-hand side. In behind, they've got another goal. It's 5-4. What am I seeing? Why is it 3-3? Why is there half an hour to play still? What's going on? Okay, I need to get the right back. I need to do something. They've got another highlight. Honestly, I can't make changes because highlights keep happening. We're in again here. No, we're not. Good tackle back. I thought Bazidas had more pace than that. He clearly doesn't. Lads, what are you doing? He just tackled his own man then, didn't he? Tetsi. Good pass. There's a ball down the middle there. Bazidi. Go. Sorry, what? Hang on. Look, what just happened? I think it hits him and goes out for a goal kick. Is this... He heads it from there. He says, Safeldin Samir gets up well to head from long range, and it just goes wide. Heads it inches wide. I think it said he's got his head in his hand. He must have thought he'd scored. What a weird highlight. The game is so broken. What's going on? Let's do subs because Shongwei needs to come off. He's not having a good game. He's on a 6.1. I think that's up against... Is it Gilberto? No, I think he's on the other side even. We don't have a right back on the bench. D'Alessandro can actually play that, and I'm going to put him there. We'll bring on Majosi in the midfield because that works. Keeper is struggling. Do I sub him? Is that wild? I'm doing it. I'm bringing on Mashego. He's not very good, but when you see a keeper like that, it just makes me think that anything they do is going to go in. I've subbed my keeper in the African Champions League Cup final. I can't even talk. In the Champions League final, I've subbed my goalkeeper on the 63rd minute. Buzidi. We're going to score now. We're going to score. We have scored now. Buzidi scored. It's his 30th of the season. It's 6-4 on aggregate. I don't know what to say. I'm exhausted just watching this. Half an hour to play. Surely we don't let them back into the game from here. Now I do feel bad about taking the keeper off. How's their keeper on a 6.8 despite conceding 4? He's only conceded 4 on the night, hasn't he? That's how these things work. Right, there's 15 to play. Let's waste time. Let's bring on Leratoli. Let's also do Kabore. Let's also waste some time. I'm going to go frequently waste time. We've got 15 to play. With a 2-goal advantage, if we can get the time to run out, we'll be absolutely fine here. There is a highlight. The keeper plays it into Chukwemeka Matthew, who's got the captain's armband on, I think. Into Kouame. He's a rubbish captain, by the way, but I just felt like he felt like a captain. I think his leadership's like 5, but there wasn't anyone who was much better. He's not usually, he's the vice captain usually. Anyway, Makoba, good tackle. They're not going to break because our centre mid, who's playing right back, gets there. They've got the ball back. There's D'Alessandro again. What? I'm still thinking about that header. He did a header from 30 yards and thought he was going to score. Buzidi. Majosi off the bench. Oh, we've done it. It's 6-3. That's not the score. It's 5-3. It's 7-4 on aggregate. This is an outrageous game of football. But right now, I think we can relax and know that we are actually going to win this. Buzidi into Majosi off the bench to score the goal that clinches it. That should be that, surely. I will actually tell them to be disciplined. I've got other subs to make as well, haven't I? 5 to play. Is there a sub that I want to bring on? Giovanni should be on the pitch, shouldn't he? I know he's injured, but Giovanni's going to come on for Makoba up front. The big man should be on the pitch, I think, for the... Actually, is he the captain? He might be. I know that Matthew's captain. Who is usually our captain? It might be Giovanni. I can't remember. Either way, we've done it! Oh my word, I'm exhausted. I am exhausted. That is a silly, silly game of Football Manager, isn't it? But in the end, a 5-3 win away from home to add to our 2-1 win at home means we run out 7-4 aggregate winners. And our time at Mamelodi Sundowns, our time in Africa, is now done. We do actually need to go and win a league title here. There's a couple of games left, but we've won ourselves the African Champions League to add to the Asian Champions League. And next stop's North America. Where should we go next? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's, now that it is officially the end of the season, and that is officially the end of my work here. We are going to resign at the end of the club season. Our time at Mamelodi Sundowns, our time in Africa, comes to an end, which means next time, in the next video, we start a new adventure. Thanks for watching today. Really hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.